So we can look at that. So there we go. So Kaylee, it's about the winds right now. It'll be a lot of the winds, and we're still looking at that tornado. It's still in Tallapoosa County.
That's right. We'll be keeping an eye on it to see if it's extended into Chambers County. But like you said, we hope that it will start to break down even further as the squall line catches up to it. And hopefully it will break down before it gets into Chambers County. But right now, Chambers County is under a severe thunderstorm warning for those strong winds that are associated with that squall line as it starts to move into Chambers County. And we will see potentially more of our counties under a severe thunderstorm warning as the squall line starts to inch closer towards the rest of our counties.
Tremendous amount of damage reported along Autauga County Road 68 east between Highway 31 and Alabama Highway 143. Just folks know that area there in Autauga County. So they had multiple injuries reported there that Kaylee mentioned earlier. You could see here that there's some rotation, but it's losing it right now, which is I'm seeing some good signs in these last scans that the tornado threat, even though it's still there, it could still be a little tornado on the ground, but you could start seeing the winds are flowing way away from that. That's exactly what we want to see. We're seeing more of this action and not so much of that gate to gate. So it's separating, so the circulation should just start to break away, but there's a lot of strong winds with it, and there's still some circulation along the center of this. So there's just a little bit of weak rotation right through here. We're still watching, but certainly very, very strong winds outflowing headed towards Buxton and that Fordyce area there. So we'll be watching. So that's some good signs. We're starting to see this thing get hopefully just ripped apart here, but there's a lot of strong winds with it. And we're under that severe thunderstorm warning, the whole county. That includes you, Valley, and West Point, severe thunderstorm warning, which means winds are going to be considerably strong. Crawford, Alabama, around 3:30 Russell County time, which is Eastern time, or 2:30. So just folks want to know there. So that's what we're looking at as well. The hail that we've talked about, we saw some of the storm reports here, but this has been the genesis of that storm where we saw the extreme tornado damage, and it started right down through here. So that's what made this storm so dangerous. You could see the tornadoes is all the one same storm. You can see how it is not a straight line. That's why we stay on TV. It keeps kinking it, going back and forth, but pretty close to it, but not exactly. And it has folks that certainly there's going to be a lot of cleanup and a lot of issues going on here. So on these reports, we saw some of these heavy damage across along Kelly Road in the Titus community, if anyone knows that. We had damage not only there, but tornado that was observed at Lightwood, Elmore area. Tornado that was coming across there with heavy damage around Coosa River Road area. Also looking at areas in Autauga, severe damage reported along County Road 68. All these areas here, tornado observed, heavy damage reported along these areas too. Looking at in Billingsley area, they had numerous roadways in these areas there around the Joffrey and Old Kington communities that had a lot of reports of damage, and it's the same thing in the New Kingston area. And when it, of course, still had us looking at this too, the Old Kingman communities were heavily damaged, major structural damage along US right here, 82. And again, these areas included what we heard from the owner, reported to authorities that there was actually a potential of seeing some of these other things that were down there. So there you go. We do have the tornado warning, as I said. It would be in that northwest corner. So that polygon continues the tornado warning in our news reviewing area. It's headed towards our county right now. And the Middletown, 5 points north of Lafayette, as I said. So Lafayette, you're clear. West Point, you're clear of any tornado threat, but you have the severe thunderstorm wind threat that's down there, just letting you know. So that's what we're talking about. So we still have to deal with this. We're going to switch over to Peachtree City radar for a minute, and we may get a better scan at Maxwell, but I'm going to go Peachtree City is our better chance right here of seeing that. I got meteorologist Cody Nickel and weather forecaster Kaylee Barbie right here. Some weakening again, Cody, but we continue to see this in that northwest corner, as we've been saying. In fact, almost an hour and a half ago, I said we're going to watch Northwest Chambers County. First Alert Weather Team first, and watching that to give you the early heads up and how important it is to have that heads up. That's why everybody's got to be prepared in that. Everything south of that is going to be the severe thunderstorm wind threat that's coming into East Alabama anytime now. So what do I mean by anytime? Let's take it from Chambers south of the tornado warning in northwest Chambers County and talk about severe wind threat and these times here. Kaylee, what do you see on this over here on this track?
Yeah, we're seeing Montgomery impacted by 2:10 Central Time. Valley, you'll be impacted by 2:34. That's roughly 30 minutes to get into your safe place. By the time the squall line comes into your area, Tuskegee 2:51 Central Time. Smith Station 3:20 Central Time. So you do have a few minutes to get into your safe place. Phoenix City 3:41 Central Time, and Columbus 4:40 Eastern Time to get into your safe place before the squall line comes into your area. Now, we do not have any severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings expected at this time, but some of these areas are under a tornado watch at this time, Bob.
Okay, and that's, I'm glad that you pointed that out, especially up through this area. It's kind of split here. I want everyone to look at your screen for a minute if you haven't done so already. We haven't even yet seen anything come through. On your phone, if you open up your Zoom, just do this and just tap it. You just do that on your screen. Apple, you could do that very easily too. In Google Play or Apple, you can, or any of your Androids, I should say, just click on that QR code. That's going to take you to our WRBL app. And this app will be able to keep you informed. It'll also keep our stream on our WRBL app too. Our apps are critical when power goes out. You know, digitally speaking, we need to have that information right there at your fingertips. So keep your power devices, keep everything powered up. We haven't even yet seen the physical system come in just yet. So I want everyone to know that. We're seeing some signs of this still not rotating really well, Cody. The Shiloh area, but 5 Points, Milltown need to really get into their safe spot. Regardless, this has some strong winds, obviously a history of catastrophic damage as it's coming into right now the Chambers County line and leaving areas of Tallapoosa in just the next couple of minutes. Hail now has been increasing up to 1.5 inches. We're concerned about that as well. We haven't even talked about that. So we have a full squall line coming in within the next hour here in East Alabama and across our Georgia counties too. So we got a long ways to go here, folks, of seeing some considerable damage. We look at the physical tornado. It's still a little, yeah, there it is there. Okay, Tiller Road, Cody just picked up another scan. This scan shows the tornado reforming again. So what we're seeing, this process now is what we call cycling. The tornado wasn't there just a minute ago. It's back again. That's why we stay on it. So now the tornadoes drop right down, right in Chambers County right now. It's just in the Chambers County, just crossed the county line. Tallapoosa is clear. It's now in the Tiller Crossroads area near County Road 116, County Road 55 to the north of that. So from Tiller Crossroad, if you're there in north of County Road, seek shelter immediately. As it continues through Foster Crossroads, seek shelter immediately. If you're in the Trammell Crossroads area, seek shelter immediately. Low level, no mobile homes with this. If you can go anywhere that's very low and a lot of walls between you and the outside, as much barrier is the best way. This has a history. It's still producing debris, and signatures are coming up, so we know that it still has that energy with it as it's being catapulted by this squall line.
And we have a TDS.
Now we have a TDS now again, so let's go right to that. So Cody's going to put the debris signature on here for us, and it'll show in the next scan. There
It's
you
right
go.
there at the county line.
Yeah, is this Peachtree City? If Cody,
this is Maxwell.
Maxwell, okay, Maxwell's still doing. You may even get a better one on Peachtree City, but you can see it though, regardless. What Cody has on here, it's crossing. The debris is over the county line. Still, portions of the flying debris is coming down in Tallapoosa County behind the physical tornado, which is now between Tiller Crossroads.
That's Peachtree City.
And that's Peachtree. Yep. Yeah, you're probably better to stay in Maxwell. Sorry about that. So there you go. Tiller Crossroad. We're seeing debris there now. The debris is flowing right across Tiller Crossroad. You should be in your safe spot. Flying debris is what creates most damage and could be the most destructive part of this part of the tornado. If you're County Road 116 in Chambers County, seek shelter now, immediately. Union Hill, seek shelter immediately. Foster Crossroads, County Road 54 in 116 and 55 should all be in their safe spots as we speak. It continues right along 62 County Road in Chambers in Alabama County and to County Road 121 down to County Road 62. We're street level tracking right now. This is what we do. We want to keep you safe. This is continuous coverage here. If you don't hear your city, your town, you're okay. We're only focused on life-threatening weather right now. Folks are asking about their towns. Focus on this. This is the most important part right now of this tornado that is regenerated, and there's still more debris with it. It's just not letting up. It showed signs of weakening. It's cycling. We get moments of it. actually dropping up, rising up in the skies, a funnel cloud goes right back down to a tornado. 77, this is Alabama State Route 77 from Shiloh, as I've been saying for the last hour now, and Kaylee and I have been talking about it, and Cody, Milltown, all the way down to Shiloh, to 5 Points, to White Plains should seek shelter immediately. That includes Findlay as far out as 20 minutes after the hour Central Time. It's 4 after Central of 2 o'clock hour here. So 5 Points is in this. That's quarter after the hour of 2. So we do have a tornado with debris. This is extreme northwest Chambers County. We're under a severe thunderstorm warning, includes Lafayette, includes everybody in Chambers County. Valley and West Point, you're under the severe thunderstorm warning. It hasn't been there yet. It's just giving you time to prepare for strong damaging winds. The tornado debris, we have a TDS, which means a tornado debris signature, showing up valid here, as Cody has on here, with 68 mile an hour winds on one end, 25, 70. We're talking about almost 90 mile or 80 mile per hour winds, if not higher. And not only that, and this is just an estimate because the radar beam is shooting up. So imagine if the radar beam was getting right in the middle of this, these winds could be considerably stronger. And right along County Road 123 Union Hill, we have debris. Foster's Crossroad debris, County Road 53, debris down to County Road 54 and 116. Dangerous situation here as we have an observed tornado in Chambers County. And we gave you the hour-and-a-half heads up, almost 2 hours, in fact, talking about this all afternoon. It's lifting north and east, almost parallel to County Road 114. If you're in Alabama, State Route 77, you should seek shelter immediately. Any of the street-level tracking, we're telling you, and we'll go with another track here. And again, we're going just with the storm rotation. We're looking at Stroud at the end, but we'll start with Foster Crossroads at 5 after the hour, which is right now. That's where it is. Right at Union Hill, you should be in your safe spot immediately. Do not head outside. Do not try to look at this. And it continues in the same track. Stroud at 17 minutes after. That's about 10 minutes out, 11 minutes out. Get in your safe stop. Cumbie Mill, 18 minutes after. Should be in your safe spot right now. Lowest level, most center part of any structure, and always cover your head if you have helmets or anything.
A second circulation to spin up on the back end of that.
I see that. County Road 62. So right down here, down Marcotte, that Cody just picked up. And this is what we do. We got 2 now. This is from that squall line. A lot of forward momentum, 80 mile per hour winds with these isolated tornadoes. They do considerable damage, and they take out some areas in very populated areas too of real estate. And this is all west of White Plains right now, and it's headed towards 5 Points and in Ward's Mill area, as Cody's highlighting. So here we have 2 areas of circulation, a potential forming tornado on the southern edge of that. Still enough circulation south of Shiloh with debris that continues all the way as far out as Selma, Alabama, which was highly damaged in there earlier, where we had a tornado emergency in Autauga County. Lots of damage and reports of folks that actually with many injuries. So White Plains, 5 Points, Cumbie Mill, Piedmont Heights at 21 after. So that's what we're looking at. So 2 areas here. County Road 53, seek shelter immediately. County Road 62 as far out as Buffalo and White Plains off of US 431. If you're west of that, seek shelter immediately. Cover your head. Anything that you can cover your head. There's that other rotation down there too. So weak rotation coming across Alabama State Route 77 now, headed towards White Plains. There could be some energy ahead of that too. They both look like they're coming together, almost converging.
Yeah, I think the northern one is probably going to be occluding, and that secondary is going to be regenerating.
Regenerating, right. So when you have that, that's like there's a body of water. When something's moving like that, you get a little circulation here. That one just eventually just kind of wears itself right out, and the one in the south strengthens, pulls that energy away. And as that occludes to the north, we got the one down to the south and north of County Road 62, and it's lifting and moving eastward rather quickly.
Yeah, and don't see any debris with either of those now.
That's some good news. The entire county, let's show them the full scope here for a moment. Now that those 2 scans here look like the tornado maybe lifted up temporarily, is the severe thunderstorm winds headed towards West Point Valley, Caseta, some locals like to say. So those areas of Chambers Valley, West Point, these areas here, all of you guys there potentially have some damaging wind with the Bow Echo to the south. Could see up to 70 mile per hour winds with that. Doppler indicated. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but preparation is necessary. as it continues in this area. We widen it out even further, and you can see we're going to have Lee County in this shortly. Northwest parts, just Tuskegee, are just out of the severe thunderstorm warning, but that will be extended most likely here, and that would include the whole Interstate 85 corridor northwest as it's coming in our area. Exactly what we were tracking earlier this morning and yesterday, believe it or not, and the models have been right on point. Technology's getting better on this, and we're able to get a good sense of what's going on so we can help everybody prepare ahead of time. So north of where the tornado is and all south, let's track that. I still think that full line, we probably are ready to do another trajectory track on that. Do you think if we can get that? I don't know if Kaylee may want to do that on.
I can do one real quick.
Okay, sure.
The latest on the advisory was 55, but right now it looks like it's more 40, 45 on that, just the main trailing squall line.
Yeah. And what we're saying, we just saw that one, the north part of that tornado has actually broke apart. Sharon Bowness understands it too. So we got a lot of residents up there that are with us also. Okay. Pine Mountain, a lot of folks are asking West Point. Pine Mountain and West Point, we're not there yet in Georgia, but this whole line's going to bring in the threat of damaging wind, period, end of story. So if you're in our Georgia counties, stay tuned. It's not there yet. We're focused on what's happening right now. Anyone from West Point Valley, LaGrange, I'll go to LaGrange too. I'm not going to leave our Troup County residents out. You're going to have strong gusty winds. So from LaGrange Valley, Auburn, all the way down into Macon County, including Tuskegee, these areas here, expect some strong damaging wind potential. This is the final track that takes us all the way into Taylor County, and that is the threat levels that will be bringing in potential severe weather with these temperatures in the 70s. And Cody's got some too with that observed tornado.
With that line, with that main line, we got a gust of 62 miles per hour in Montgomery.
Montgomery 62, so that does damage. So we're not, it doesn't have to be a tornado to be serious. This is serious, which includes this complete coverage here, because everybody's being affected. It's not like one area of the news reviewing is. Everybody's going to have strong gusty winds. The tornado is now north of 431, where it kinks to southwest of 5 points. This is east of 77, Alabama State Route 77, with some strong winds now. So the original tornado that came through created all that catastrophic damage in parts of Selma. And as we rock it back, as Cody rocks it about an hour back and forth, you could see what happened. To the north, it reformed south. It occluded, it started getting absorbed from some southern circulation. The observed tornado was actually originally from the part that just dissipated. That was the original one that did all the damage in Tallapoosa, Coosa, Autauga, Dallas, and all those counties. We're not seeing any debris signatures now. That's some good signs. It's probably likely now in a small polygon. It's not observed anymore. So the observed tornado is gone. It's radar indicated now, which is a good sign. We only know that it's probably lifting back up in the sky, what we call cycling. But it's not the same tornado that did all the devastation down in Selma. I just want to point that out, or in Autauga County. So White Plains north, the circulation continues, and it is just to the east of County Road 158. If you're in 5 Points, County Road 224, all the neighborhoods through here, very populated around County Road 222, you know who you are. Seek shelter immediately, includes County Road 176. All these neighborhoods, they're east of US 431. Seek shelter immediately. The last scan puts Milltown Street right in there, just south of 5 Points. Seek shelter immediately. The most interior section of any home, solid right on the ground, and you should cover your head the best you can. Protect your head. Flying debris has been associated with this. The good news is, as we see radar indicated, we're just seeing a lot of upper level circulation, but radar indicated means we don't have a physical person observing it, nor do we have evidence that there's any debris, but we do have major circulation, which means at any given time it could drop a tornado. That's the problem. You have to stay with it, but right now, seek shelter. Better to be prepared rather not. That's why this tornado warning's on. That's a perspective added on this tornado warning. So only good news is that we're seeing it cycling. It's weakening. It's lifting back up in the sky. It's losing all its dynamics because of the squall line that has enveloped it. It's still in the northern flank of that, and it's lifting it northeast of 431, US 431 in Chambers County. White Plains, you're clear. If you're in White Plains, you're clear right now. 5 Points, it's just to the east of you now, or southeast of you, so you guys are going to clear on this last scan. And if you're Anyone in Troup County, we're going to watch
Got
Northwest Troup County.
Tornado warning, Troup.
Yep, just said it now.
Includes LaGrange.
Okay, so it does include our friends in LaGrange, which are also have the damaging wind threat. So even though LaGrange and Abbotsville coming over county line, Hogansville, Hillcrest, these areas north of LaGrange, including LaGrange most southern point, don't sit there and let your guard down. But here's the deal. Even if you don't have a tornado, there's still going to be wind gusts. And still more south and west of this, as far down as Montgomery County, with some of the radar indicated of over 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's along the entire line. So everybody's going to experience some kind of potential wind threat and damage. 5 points, it's right over you right now. So I stand corrected. I said you were clear. I apologize. So not in that last scan. So still seeing winds that are close to 56 to 80 miles an hour, holding up as a lot of winds aloft, can drop a tornado at any time. It'll be more populated south of Findlay and Stroud, but once we see this and going into areas of Troup County, be prepared that this could be anywhere on County Road 278, a tornado, 268, 288, all the neighborhoods, even 282 and 267 to the east of the tornado could certainly be a problem here too. So we're 5 points is County Road 222, County Road 228, and 267. We have a good high threat of seeing some kind of wind damage first, and a tornado that can drop out just like that. It's not observed, it's radar indicated, but this is really broad circulation. Broad circulation equates into all of a sudden you get a tornado or something. But at this point, a lot of damaging wind threat with that strong winds. But we do not have an observed tornado, but we're under the tornado warning that will continue. This is moving rapidly into Troup County. So from the Chambers County line, Troup County line, 2 hours we've been talking about this. And we said it would be threatening these areas in the northwest part of the viewing area. LaGrange is in it, yes. And if that continues on that track, let's just talk about it here for a second. Kaylee, what do you see on that latest track on that?
Yeah, we're seeing Abbotsford until 3:24 Eastern Time, high until 3:27 p.m. Eastern Time. Where's Crossroads 3:31 p.m. Eastern Time. LaGrange, you do have a few minutes, about 15 minutes to get into your safe place around 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be moving into your area. Harrisonville, 3:38 p.m. Eastern Time. You have about 20 minutes to get into your safe place. Hogansville, you have until 3:42 p.m. Eastern Time to get into your safe place. So once again, this track has been extended into Troup County until, Cody, would you mind moving that? Thank you. Until 4 p.m. Eastern Time into Troup and Heard County. So this is not a confirmed tornado on the ground. This is simply radar indicated, but this storm has produced several damaging winds and a confirmed tornado earlier today. We do have reports of several structures damaged from earlier today, Bob. And
some good news is Cody's highlighting here, no tornado debris. Well, it's hard to tell now, not really. This is not giving us, it might be a little tornado debris with that, but we don't see much. Yeah, there could have been just west of 5 Point small material. There might have been a little debris signature, but not much. Right now, we're not seeing it. Right now on your screen, I want to do something. We still got to get this line through Lee County. We were going to probably lose power. I'm just going to tell you right now. The QR code that's right here on your screen, you can see it right here. You could go ahead and take your phone, put your camera right on it, and then tap it and get that QR code. It'll take you so you can download the WRBL Radar app, the news app. You can watch our stream if you get in a situation. I would highly recommend that you keep your power up, keep those mobile devices powered up. If you lose power, you have us right here by clicking that QR code right now on your screen. That will keep you safe and keep you informed with the latest as we're streaming live right now at WRBL Facebook, and we're taking your comments too at the same time and keeping you safe ahead of the storm as it continues to move eastward, tracking across areas of Troup and to the south and west all the way down to Montgomery County with the threat of damaging wind. This is going to get pretty strong here in a minute in a very soupy and unsettled atmosphere, and that's what we have to watch out for. And also I want to mention Q1073 FM. If your phone goes out and you're having interruptions, you got radio, Q1073 FM, our PMB broadcast partners will also be doing that as well. Although we have a radar indicated tornado, we still got some circulation. Cody, talk about that. You got debris now, Cody, right outside of Findlay. So we're going to go back now. It's radar indicated. We're going to tell you there's a tornado on the ground right now. It's just east of Stroud, Findlay, County Road 282. So let's talk about getting in your safe spot. So there is debris headed towards Findlay in Chambers County. That's right along County Road 282 that continues all the way up to County Road 278. If you are here, seek shelter immediately. There is debris, and that debris can move off to the north. It can be lofted up. The history of this other tornado that was associated with it earlier was up to 10,000 feet. It can linger for a while, and falling debris comes down. It's very dangerous. It's projectiles flowing in the air. So outside of Stroud, Findlay, County Road 282, and Evansville area, County Road 266, we need everybody to seek shelter immediately. Winds here, Cody's already clocking easily close to 100-mile-per-hour winds with this.
Yeah, and this is coming up on the Roanoke Road area. That is also Georgia 109 in parts of Troup County. This is where that is heading. Also northern portions of Lake West Point.
And as we just said, when we see this, we know it's observed. Despite radar, that is actually observed right now. It looks like we're getting it observed, or at least a confirmation on seeing something here. It's observed now, okay? So Chambers, Randolph County's in this. I'm not understanding why, but it's out of our viewing area. But Chambers, you're still in it because the tornado is just to the west of Findlay. If you're in Findlay right now, it's right there, County Road 282. You have to be in a safe spot right now. If you can't get there, get center part, cover your head immediately. Cody, go ahead.
Yeah, this is also coming up at Standing Rock is a well-known community along County Road 278, but I don't see it highlighted. But Standing Rock,
it's a big deal. Yes,
that's a big community. Along County Road 278.
Thanks for that. So as Cody just said, 278 immediately. I don't care where you're at. If you're in the Findlay area, if you're on County Road 283 and you're like, I have nowhere to go, never panic. Don't panic. Just get as low lying as you can, the most center part of any kind of structure as you can, and just cover your head. If you have a bicycle helmet or something, you know what your preparation is. That would include you in Evansville, which would also be County Road 288 in Alabama, and that's moving into the Chambers County area too. That county road goes right along the county line. It's extended. This is observed now.
They went particularly dangerous situation with this one.
Okay, we're back to PDS now.
They said we're over potentially 100 miles per hour, even greater with the circulation.
Even what you just showed. You just had it on there, Cody, so that was good. So we, estimate 100+ mile-per-hour winds. Cody's doing it again. And the reason why some of these may come a little less is because what we're looking at is the way the radar beam's shooting. But that one that you scanned, you got was definitely 100+.
I got 85.
Yeah, I would say 85 to 100. So that has us, and that's what we said. We call observe before they even put it on there. So that's what we do, and we're going to keep you posted as we lock right in on this. So coverage continues here on News 3. If you're in Chambers County and you're having any power outages or issues, you could go to Q1073 FM. Stay with us here in Troup County on our WRBL radar app or WRBL news app for continual coverage. Keep those mobile phones, even in all areas south, once we get into the severe thunderstorm threat and strong winds, in case power goes out as well. County Road 282, it's right over you. It's moving towards County Road 268. And this area here, you should be into the lowest level and safe spots as you can. Anywhere around County Road 282, this is a lot of agriculture. We come out here and you know who you are. There's so many folks out here, a lot of areas here that are susceptible in those open areas. And with that flying debris coming in, which brings you to County Road 268 as well, are some problems. The population gets greater once we get just to the east-southeast of Abbotsville, southwest, I should say, pardon me. And it continues around the Antioch area, north of Abbotsford, north of Vernon, Evansville still in that, and right around Georgia State Route 219. And in that whole River Road corridor, you must get into the safe spot now. No point of just wasting time. If you're in Troup County, we're taking you now into Georgia, that track, and that would take it right around areas around what we like to call it would be the Houston area, down to Wares Cross Road, and then Hillcrest about 3:38 local time. It's 23 minutes after right now Eastern time as we continue this coverage. County Road 278 in your safe spot. Evansville and Antioch right now get into the lowest part of your facility. If you have time in Antioch, Evansville, to get into that shelter immediately, there is major debris here. We got some major debris here on the ground. This is County Road 283. This is really dangerous. This right here is a potentially dangerous situation. Observed tornado. And County Road 282, there's debris all across areas around 283, 274, County Road 282. Evansville area. This is dangerous. It could be very bad when it comes to injury or even death and destruction because there's so much flying debris. The reflectivity on this could be anything from rooftops, automobiles with that too sometimes, but with 100-mile-an-hour winds, I see a lot of trees probably with this, and a lot of flying debris. They're projectiles just flown around, 2x4s, pieces of rooftops, shingles, that sort of thing. Very dangerous, just very dangerous. That's why do not go outside. If you're in Evansville, don't try to observe this. Your safety comes first. So should be in your safe spot. We're going to keep you safe there. I want to point out, though, if you're in Findlay, County Road 297, 278, I believe the circulation should be out of there. Cody, if we can go to reflectivity real quick. Yeah. It's still outside of Findlay. So if you're in Findlay, I would still stay indoors because there's so much flying debris, okay? So, you're talking over, just over 100-mile-per-hour winds with this. It's northeast of Findlay, the tornado itself. The debris is almost aligned with this completely. I mean, the debris is almost right along, where earlier the debris was way out. The debris field got shot up in the Anvil and it spread out over Selma. That was very strong. This seems to be concentric right along with the circulation, so probably a lot of trees or whatever is picking up through this area. Clearly, there's not only trees, but you got a lot of homes, and rooftops would be something with this kind of wind that would rip rooftops off easily, quite easily. It'll take trees and topple them over real easily. So Findlay, you're clear, but stay indoors. County Road 297 westward towards the Mill, McBee Road, and County Road 182, Stroud, you're clear, okay?
But if there's any, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. If there's any debris, do not go outside.
Just this is coming up on the Rock Mills Road area, the Antioch Road area. I know we don't have street level capabilities in Troup County, so I'm just trying to give as many roads as we can.
Cody, thanks for that.
In Troup County.
Yeah.
This is just near that Abbotsford area that takes you back up towards Antioch.
Gotcha. So our Troup County residents, LaGrange, I want to point out, Cody, too. LaGrange, at this time, you're good because LaGrange right here is in the southernmost part of it. You can see where the physical tornado is this way. It continues on its track. It should remain more towards the Hillcrest area.
And Hogansville.
And Hogansville. So LaGrange, stay with us. You're okay. No need to get in your safe spot. I mean, get in your safe spot, but just pay attention. But this has been moving at such a fast rate, lifting northeast. It should, even though it's going to wobble, it's still going to take not a perfect line. But LaGrange right now, you're looking okay. Anything west, 5 points, you're clear now in Chambers County. Right along US 431, you're clear. Anybody on that corridor, that would include Roanoke, all the way down. If you're in Lafayette, you're clear right now. We're going into almost Chambers County now and just a couple more scans away. So that puts you right along the county line area. Evansville should seek shelter immediately. It's overhead right now, and it's moving across the county line as we speak. And it weakened on that last scan. It's already across the county line. It's already in Troup County. So Evansville, it looks like it's clearing area, but stay indoors. There's still flying debris in that vicinity, and there's a lot of population around that County Road 278 area. It's still wanting to wind up again. And
and I think we're trying to get something to develop on the southern periphery of this storm again.
Yeah, yes, it did this very similar action.
Original circulation, I think we're going to try and get a new one on the south side.
Yep,
of
and
LaGrange.
That's kind of what happened with this last one. It keeps doing that. So that's why I said LaGrange. I would just get in a safe spot right now if you're in LaGrange, even though it's just to the west here. I could see a lot of wind there. So LaGrange residents, you're in there, but just let's stay south. I'm surprised we don't drop that polygon. I think Peachtree City. We're under a severe thunderstorm warning for West Point. West Point, you're not in the threat of a tornado, but it's passing through right now with considerable wind, as we said. So everybody else seeing severe thunderstorm winds right along Georgia State Route 109. Tornado with debris in the Troup County area, just left areas around Evansville, and that is moving in. There's still debris signature here. If you're in Antioch, you need to take shelter immediately if you haven't already done so. Vernon, I would take shelter immediately right now, anywhere along these areas.
Yeah, Antioch Road, Rock Mills Road, and back up towards Liberty Hill Road need to be taking your tornado precautions in Troup County.
So Cody, with this here, the full picture, leave the let's go to velocity for a second. And let's broaden the whole thing out here just for a second. Let's go see how well we can do this here. You could see the two. Yeah, I'm sorry, velocity, you're right. And then we have it right here. So Pine Mountain, folks want to know, we're under the severe thunderstorm warning for Harris County. We got Troup County. This whole line, is covering the entire News 3 viewing area with the threat of damaging wind. Radar indicated West Point Valley 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Although it may not occur, there's portions of the line that at any time with the circulation could bring you some strong wind gusts. I don't know about hail. We've seen hail up to over 1.5 inches in diameter. Mostly it's been about dime-sized hail, some pea-sized hail.
Yeah, I think we're about to get some good hail coming up into LaGrange.
Right, so let's talk about that because that core is getting a little deeper southeast of Piedmont Heights and Long Cane. And the hail we don't consider very much, just under 1 inch in diameter. So you're talking about quarter-sized hail.
I also got a hail report coming out of around Lynette and West Point.
Okay, so that's the severe thunderstorm associated here. The West Point, a lot of folks West Point wanted to know, there comes your winds. It's going to clear West Point.
Dime-sized hail.
Okay, so that's what they're seeing by the time it hits the surface. With that kind of dynamics and static electricity in the air, that kind of updraft action, and then that hail core, and it starts to collapse, it's going to bring in damaging wind. That's why everybody's going to see that threat. We do have LaGrange in that still. And again, as we continue to track that tornado, wanted just to give folks an idea what's happening south of LaGrange, southwest, right along US 29. And that continues to go right through Lee County, outside of Chambers into Auburn, south of Auburn. And here comes the squall line. So Lafayette, you are clear right now. You're beginning to clear.
We did get another hail report out of northern Chambers.
Okay.
As the storm pushed through. Quarter-sized hail.
Quarter-sized, and that's what I was going to say. Yeah, about quarter-size was the greatest I've seen so far, despite radar indicated.
But I'm pretty sure we're getting some good-sized hail in LaGrange at this point.
Oh, I would think so with that. Yeah, absolutely. It's building up that storm. Well, as we get in that storm, could you go 3D volumetric at level 2? Let's go. We're going to it just helps us kind of see the strength of the storm and if it's weakening and all that. So we're going to go into a 3D dimension. And Cody's going to volumetric slice this. And as we volumetric slice on a 3D mode, you could see the suspended hail right here. So this hail core, these updrafts are very, very volatile, very strong. And you got the downdraft. So there you have it where he's pointing. So there's your hail core, and it's headed towards LaGrange. And quarter-sized hail by the time it makes its transition south of the base of the severe thunderstorm. Not to mention rotation, and we got that tornado debris that's just to the west of that too still. So consider this from LaGrange out. Everybody in that part of Troup County, LaGrange northward, should seek shelter immediately. You could see the anvil on that. The storm is over 30,000 feet. It's about 32,000 feet. And we'll watch it as we're tracking it here. Hail cores anywhere from 10 to 20,000 feet. And you know, this is crazy here, but I'm wondering how much that could be debris too.
Okay, Troup County EMA is receiving reports of tornado on the ground near South State Line Road.
Okay, let's go back to it, but I'm watching that. I'm wondering how much of this could be not only hail core, but you're also getting debris that's getting lofted up in here as well. So
it looks like it's weakened though on that northern fringe.
Yeah, let's the 3D. There it is here. We can see it at this juncture.
I'm more worried about this southern circulation though.
Yeah, it does.
Coming into LaGrange.
This is weakened. So the tornado's cycling up here and lifting up. Is there any more debris with this? So in the last 2 cycles and the last scans,
it looks like it's kind of blown away.
It's starting to dissipate, which these scans it's falling to the ground. So west of Georgia State Route 219, if you're right on 219, north of LaGrange, all the way up to North Troup County, seek shelter immediately. There could be falling debris out of the sky with that as the storm starts to weaken. It's going to come down. If it goes up, it's coming down. So right around LaGrange, Lee's Crossing, that's a considerable amount of mesocyclone action. And when you have that kind of meso feature, it could drop a tornado at any time.
Yeah, this is coming up on US 2 or Georgia 219, Old West Point Road, Pegasus Parkway area. Okay.
No debris with it. We don't have it confirmed. The observed tornado was what I just pointed out north as it's starting to weaken west of 219. South, though, I'm in Troup County now, so folks are listening. Troup County, south and north of the Interstate 85 corridor. Stay with us here. We're looking at a considerable amount of rotation in this thunderstorm. And when you have that kind of circulation, eventually a tornado drops down, possibly. And not to mention, you're going to have some wind gusts that are very, very strong, very volatile. Potentially on our Doppler indicator we're watching, up to 70. The rotation on those isolated tornadoes that we had up north were strong. So this still, you know, you're talking 50-mile-an-hour winds. 50-mile-an-hour winds with this. That'll do some damage. And it's a very broad area from Lee's Crossing, and it's coming right along US 27, and that will impact the LaGrange area, especially south of LaGrange. You guys know what I'm talking about. And then we get into the Pine Mountain area. Folks want to know in Harris County.
And we're finally getting reports that it's hailing in LaGrange.
Yeah, there, as we were saying. And about quarter-sized hail, I think we're still looking at up to an inch in diameter, or just less than. So that's enough to do some, quarter-sized hail will do some damage. And again, that's what we want to keep on. So we got the hail with it. The storm is over 30,000 feet. And it's got a lot of energy. This is on the squall line and stuff. That's a broad area of hail, my friends. Broad area. Anyone on an 85 area in Troup County, and there's US or Highway 27, all right, and Troup County going up to LaGrange, that would be coming out. We're not even into the Big Springs. We're not even in Harris County yet. We're still in Troup County, North Harris County, I should say, but we're still north of that. Smith's Crossroad area, and these areas here, hail with this. Now we're seeing some tightening up on the last scan that Cody just put up. So it's tightening up, so we're getting more spinning. Now we're talking about maybe potentially under 80-mile-per-hour winds, 75, 78-mile-per-hour winds with that. So that will cause considerable damage, and it's just west of right here, right along. Here's 27, 85, and in Georgia, coming right up here, there's 27 there, and then you got 29. Wow. Now we're starting to get.
Yeah, I think we're
getting a tornado likely. We're going to probably get this to be. There got some debris.
I think we have debris.
We got some debris. We got some debris now. Yeah, I can see it in that last scan. So it'll come up. There it is, and we'll be getting.
This is 219, and coming up on Georgia 219, US 27, just north of Interstate 85.
Be careful that interchange, that whole area there. You got Waffle House. You got a lot of people, a lot of businesses here.
This is coming up on Great Wolf.
Yes, the lodge, Great Wolf.
And coming up also on Troup County High School.
Yes. So anybody in this area, seek shelter immediately. This is why the schools were let out early today. Have to listen to this. Listen to your local meteorologist, please. I wish local school districts would tap into local meteorologists. We're waiting for national weather. We are the local meteorologists here. I don't care. I'll give a plug to all the stations. Local meteorologists are the only ones locally doing it, hyper local. They're not, Weather Service is not doing it. Stay with your local meteorologists, because there's schools, some let out early, some chose not to. But you got to be an hour to 2 hours ahead when you let out kids. Troup County High School is in the wake of this, so you got to watch out for that. This is observed, heard
South
in Troup
Davis
counties.
Road.
Yes.
Upper Big Springs Road, Vulcan Materials Road, Colquitt Street, Lucan Industrial Drive East, all the way back up to Georgia 109. Go ahead and take your tornado precautions. We have no formal tornado warning,
right,
but we have a tornado, I believe, occurring now.
Yes, and you could see it clearly on that last scan. And Cody also had two, with the storm rotation, let's go to debris. We have some debris with this too.
Yeah, we have debris.
And there it is. And
this is right over Troup High School.
Right over Troup High School right now. Dangerous. Now there you go. We got our observed tornado. News 3 first on that to tell you that it was a tornado. Now the Weather Service is now showing that it is an observed tornado, which we have already seen. So south of LaGrange, all the way through here, LaGrange is just south of you. So really, technically, it's the city proper. It's a greater area of south of LaGrange right now. Right along 85. And just passing right now, there's still debris right along 219 here, right over Troup High School. We had Jack Patterson come in here. He knew exactly what we're talking about, covering a lot of our football games and making sure these folks are safe here. And again, good job in those. You know, a lot of these kids, we knew we got to get them out of there. Safe spot to be if you're in this track. All the way Georgia State 109, please get in your safe spot immediately.
Also, this is coming up near the Walmart Distribution Center.
Yes, very, very busy right through here, South LaGrange, again. So all south and east of LaGrange, as Cody pointed out, to Interstate 85, Great Wolf Lodge area, coming on 27, which comes out of Harris County into Troup County. That's the area we have to watch right now. Anybody northeast of this, as it continues, will steer clear this tornado. We don't have any other to the south that we're pretty good along that line. Kaylee, you're watching the south
We are
line.
watching some discrete near just outside of Troy, but overall
Okay, that's
it's
Pike.
calm.
Okay, so we got time.
It's south of our area.
We're going to
at the
still,
moment.
this isn't over. We still got a long couple hours here to go because we got to watch the southwest part of this squall line. We're focused on this because that's where it is right now. We have a tornado
Rain
with
wrap.
debris observed right now, observed southeast of LaGrange. It's lifting northeast now. Now it's east LaGrange, southeast LaGrange. It's not quite east LaGrange, southeast of LaGrange. Whew. And we're talking well over 100 now, okay? So we're talking about 110 mile per hour winds with this. That'll do considerable damage. We have debris in the air, and it just passed over to Troup High School, Troup County High School, and it's now crossing, getting ready to cross Interstate 85 in that last scan, where the interchange of Georgia State Route 109 is, and Interstate 185 just to the west, Interstate 185, and we'll start watching that area there very closely.
I would say this is near the Hood Road area and the Upper Big Springs Road area as well.
Gotcha. And
near where Upper Big Springs crossroads with South Davis Road. This is really close to that as well.
And Cody, this is riding literally parallel to Interstate 85 before it joins in the big interchange here of Interstate 185. So that's just the south, and there's a lot of population here, a lot of new growth, and it's coming right into a big line of trees which would be impacting the interstate. And if there's debris with it, nobody should be on the interstate at all in this area, not whatsoever. If you're in the Pine Mountain area and you got to jump on here on 27 to go north, get off the road. Don't even go there right now. Let's wait for this to continue to move out. Again, we're still talking about Troup County. This is not in Harris County. I want to be very clear on that, but you do have strong winds everywhere in East Alabama along that whole squall line. The part of the squall line that has life-threatening weather is this debris signature, observed tornado, and it's riding right along that same area, and that debris field is quite large right now, Cody.
Yeah, and this is coming up on Georgia 109. It takes you back into Mountville. Mountville, if you go ahead and take tornado precautions as well.
Yeah, and
even though also Greenville is in this tornado warning, that's down the road.
That's right, in Meriwether County, so we got to watch that.
Meriwether County is under this tornado warning as well, the northern portion.
Thank you for saying that. We got a lot of viewers that still watch us digitally. We know you're there.
Communities around Odessa-Dale, back up towards Lone Oak is not included within this tornado warning. I would say on the Meriwether County side, it's more Greenville, Odessa-Dale, those communities along 109.
Yeah, very hilly, very hard to see. Get in your most interior sections. Do not try to tackle this and try to look at it. Observed tornado polygon has extended, as we just mentioned, farther south. Perspective on Pine Mountain, Cody, just to show real quick so people see Woodbury and Manchester. There you have it. There's West Point, Harris County line, right there. Pine Mountain's right on the line there. But at this point, the tornado's north of Pine Mountain. So folks are wondering, Pine Mountain, you are okay? At this point, we're looking good. You are under severe thunderstorm warning just to your west. That is going to be certain. With the winds that are associated with this as it moves eastward at quite a speed here. So heavy rain, tremendous amount of lightning, and from Pine Mountain west of Greenville, as Cody pointing out, to State Route 100 in Georgia, State Route in 192. That's the little spine is clear, just strong winds that could still bring in a lot of trees on that. And you can see the velocity scans of the strong winds south of that. But the tornado we're looking at right now still is right here, State Route 109, Georgia State Route 109. Here's 85 now. It's just coming right south of that interchange where 85 and 185 apex where they interchange coming out of LaGrange, and that is very busy.
This is right over the Walmart Distribution Center off of Callaway Church Road.
Sure.
That's where that is at, just to give you a landmark.
Yes.
And then also back up towards the city landfill, off of Greenville Road, or also known as Georgia 109.
Gotcha. Kaylee, safe spots, real quick. You've been preaching that, and it's been good. You've been giving some good advice on folks what they need to do right now in this path of this, if you're right along east of that area of 185.
Yeah, Big Springs, Mountville, Odessa-Dale, Thompson Crossroads, and Greenville as this gets closer to you within the next few minutes, because these storms have been very fast moving, Bob. If you have a basement, get down to the lowest level of your home. If you have a single level home, get into the innermost room of your house and stay there for the remainder of these storms, because like I said, this is a confirmed tornado on the ground, and this supercell that has already produced another tornado today has produced extensive damage and injuries, Bob. Okay, so this whole line has had quite a system to it. This technically, from that first tornado that was from Selma, it came out of Dallas County,
has transitioned into 2 different tornadoes in different areas. So that one has been gone. A second one formed coming in out of Tallapoosa County in areas of Chambers, and now we're in the third one now in South Troup County, just south of LaGrange, southeast of LaGrange as we speak. We could do towns for tracking, even though street level. Let's do Mountville and kind of give everyone from Big Springs, you should be in your safe spot. Mountville, you should be in your safe spot immediately. Let's go do a track on the speed of that. I'm not really aware of what we're going with the speeds at street level.
Let's see.
Probably doing 1 hour back of rocket, and then we'll just go ahead and, if that's possible, unless they have one flagged on it. But I'm going to assume that one's going to be a little slower than a loft.
All right, the tornado is tracking off towards the northeast around 40.
Okay, so it's moving along, and we're going to take it right now. We'll take it from a wide view here.
You want me to do a cone or
let's do squall.
Okay.
Sorry, it just to kind of give us anywhere in that trajectory looked at.
You know what, let me zoom out and let me do a bigger one.
Sure. And then once we get out of, we're getting into Meriwether County here. So Cody's got that. It's all the way from Woodbury being the extreme eastern part of it. That does not include Manchester, and it does not include Warm Springs. So I want to be clear on that in southern Meriwether County. Even though it's in there from our track, doesn't mean there's going to be a tornado there, but we're just putting there just for the sake of knowing there's strong damaging winds along that line. Pine Mountain is only about damaging wind right now, 348. Durand, Greenville, though, potentially could be a tornado, 358. Warm Springs should be south of that. Woodbury would put it in at 7 minutes after. Warm Springs and Gay, Georgia, by that point would be about 10 minutes after the hour of 4. Of course, we're in Eastern time as we speak right now. Tornado warning observed, debris with that. The southern end of it does have strong damaging winds. That's why we include Pine Mountain, Durand, Greenville. At this point would be damaging wind potential first. The tornadoes on the back side of that as it starts to bow out. Hopefully in the same respect that would happen originally with the first tornado warning coming into Chambers County, and it got absorbed or occluded, if you will. That may just happen with that as well. You're getting sometimes like wake lows in the atmosphere, but these are producing like 100+ mile-per-hour winds. Go ahead.
All right, this is coming out of Auburn. We got a gust of 67 miles per hour.
There you go. So if we widen that out completely.
And also to get you a visual, if we can get the Jordan Hare camera up.
Yeah. Can we get Jordan Hare up? Yeah, we'll work on that. And
so we're getting some very strong winds just with this line.
I'm surprised if I can have our producers or somebody see, do we have any power outages at this point across Lee County? Is there Alabama Power, Tallapoosa Power, anybody reporting any outages? Let's talk about that for a minute, because this line would definitely do something like that, as Cody pointed out, with 60+ mile-per-hour winds right at the surface in the Auburn area. So Auburn, it's all about the winds. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning all the way back into Macon County, northwest of Tuskegee. Tuskegee, you're going to have the same winds coming up your way within the next 30 minutes or less. And it's coming in your area right now with heavy rain. Where you see the associated dark red, that's where we're seeing lots of lightning. That's where we're seeing the strong winds. And you can see that as we scan here. Hasn't even come into anywhere southeast of here. And it appears now this is going to be more of a southeast track. East-southeast, and you could see farther south, though, we'll be watching this south of Pike County, Alabama. We have to watch this for, it'll be the second time today. We had strong winds that came into areas around Clay County, Georgia, included Bluffton and Fort Gaines area, and Stewart County and others in Marion and Sumter had some energy. So we're still focused on this observed tornado, and it is coming into areas of Meriwether County here very shortly.
And we're working on that camera.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Thanks. And so we could see the winds. They'll be considerable. Now, there it is. There's still the tornado we're looking at. So it is observed. We still have possibly debris in the last one. It is south right now west of Thompson Crossroad. Odessa Dale, you should be seeking shelter immediately. Greenville, anybody on their mobile device? We got folks that are on there too, and I'm sorry I've been following you on track because we're focused on this right now. But this is where you need to be. You can share that on your mobile device. We do have a QR code for you. You can go download the WRBL radar app. You can go to in your app store. It's right here on the right side of your screen right now. So what you would do is just hold your phone up there, and you can put your camera up there and just touch the screen on an Apple, your Android. You know what to do. So you could go ahead and get directed to the WRBL radar app and the news app. These will also have live stream features. So if your power goes out, and we're working on that too to see where the power, if there's any power outages, which I would highly suspect with this kind of line, this kind of wind, there's going to be power outages. This is a matter of 1 or 2 trees to hit a power grid system, and that's what it does for safety. It'll shut that line down so nobody's injured. And our linesmen and women, well, linesmen the term, but anybody who works in that area are wonderful people. Those first responders will get you back up. So never try. If you see any power lines down, just you could text or tweet somebody. They know it's down. Never go out there to try to look at a down power line ever, because it could still be hot. Okay, so
okay, we're finally getting damage reports out of Chambers County.
Okay, so that's after the fact, but this is how long it takes.
And this is coming out of the Standing Rock community. This is from Emergency Management.
Okay.
Home destroyed on County Road 284, Northeast Chambers County, and that was right where that tornado went through in Chambers County.
Okay, gotcha. All good at Troup County High School. That is some great news. The coach was there, players were there, thank goodness. Everybody's safe at Troup County High School, even with that debris that came up. Good news. We always want to hear that. That is great news.
All right, we got the Auburn camera up now.
Okay, so we'll take a look at what's going on there with these winds to the south. We're not leaving anybody out, because I know a lot of folks here in Lee County are like, what is going on? You don't have a tornado, but by golly, you got some strong winds. We clocked for a moment there. It was a gust, by the way. It wouldn't be sustained winds, but it was a gust of 62 miles per hour.
67.
67, my bad. So you're talking, that's typical severe thunderstorm wind gusts. And right now it appears that the gusts here at Jordan-Hare Stadium are nothing more than, it looks like by the flags.
Well, it looks like some of the fencing was blown over.
Yeah, sure does. So,
bit.
yeah, when it came through, it certainly did. It took all the tarp portion of it off. That wind came through quickly. And that's what happens with these severe storms. They will come in gust quickly. They'll outflow very, very fast and cause all that disruption, as you can see. So
we're getting another, or the spin back up.
And it's still
just on the northwestern side.
Okay. What we're going to do is let's stay on this, and
we may actually get another circulation here.
It's the same thing what happened before. The north comes up. Does it get occluded or not? And then we get another one forming around Hunter's Cross Road, which brings it to Harris City and Meriwether County, right along US 27 and into the Greenville area right now. In this latest scan, there could be a potential tornado dropping down here, even though you're not under you're under observed tornado, but that's a different area that we're looking at. So we got one here outside to southwest of Thompson Cross Road, southwest of Greenville, and in fact, it looks like, Cody, I don't know if this is an anomalous, but it looks like just north of Greenville. Let me stand out of the way. It looks like a little bit of a rotation on there too. It just could be just wind gusts, but I think, yeah, it's more south where the blue is there. There you go. So it's coming into Greenville right now. The radar scan, I think the radar's lagging a little bit, but here is our,
oh, that one.
That one's on that radar site, was just picking it up a little earlier. Okay, so southwest of Georgia State Route 100 and west of Thompson Cross Road, we're watching that again. Could it still be this? It was the same one that just came through the Troup County High School. It's this far over right now into Meriwether County and leaving Troup County as we speak. So it's
this is close to the St. Mark's community.
Okay, and you know this area real well, Cody. This is Cody's neck of the woods up through this area. So talk about this area here, Cody. What do we got to worry about southwest of?
All right. Well, some of the roads: Keith Road, St. Mark's Road, back over towards Forest Road, Cousins Road. But really, if you are familiar, actually St. Mark's is right up towards the north of that. So this is south of St. Mark's and between Thompson Crossroads.
Okay.
But if you're familiar with St. Mark's, just go ahead and just take your tornado precautions, because this is coming right into you. It may jog more towards the north as it gets towards Georgia 100, but just go ahead and err on the side of caution and take that tornado action.
Okay, good advice, because you don't realize it. A lot of people think it's not real popular. So the folks watching here, if you know anybody too, it's worth noting to go ahead and just tip them off a little bit, send them a text if you can, or give them a buzz and let them know, because a lot of folks may think it's some thunderstorm winds. You weren't expecting to see that. It is still included in, even though we got the severe thunderstorm warning polygon here, this is still included in the physical polygon of what we're talking about, observed tornado. We have it here. I think we can see a debris signature on this potentially still. So you can see the rotation here in that St. Mark community, as Cody was just talking about. That needs to be watched extensively and getting into those safe spots immediately. You could see it has now moved the debris. That's our debris signature here. Cody's rocking it. I would say
that's old debris.
You know what? It is.
Because it doesn't match up.
Yeah, go back again.
Well, it actually does match up.
Right here it just clicked, yeah. So right Thompson Crossroads, almost right over. It's strange because some of the tornadoes were so high. The ones that were lofted earlier, sometimes you'll hear that debris going up so high, it'll mismatch. This is directly over just to the west of, if you're in Thompson Crossroad area, neighborhoods through here, right now, seek shelter immediately.
All right, and we're getting more damage out of Chambers County. This is pine trees down, hardwoods along County Road 267. Power lines are down.
That was right where the tornado went through. Remember talking about that, County Road 267. You were talking about the St. Mark's community, just south of where St. Mark's is, and it's still included the community before you get to Thompson Crossroads. That's where the debris is right now, and that's where that tornado is.
Greenville's also getting some very strong winds right now.
And Greenville's checking in about how much of those winds clocked. And you can see them to the south of that. You can see that bright color. These winds are flowing away. That's what you want to see. You want to see these bright colors moving away, not tornadic, but it still covers a lot of real estate just east of Greenville. You got winds that are very, very strong here, incredibly strong. I mean, from 50, you're talking about well over, you're talking about 120 mile an hour winds, potentially strong gusty winds aloft. Some of that will make it at the surface, and that in itself would be more straight line winds, not a tornado. Straight line winds do just as much damage, destruction, and we've seen that with a lot of down toppled trees too that have actually done more long-term damage than even occurred as far as over the course of a year. Probably more damage and death from straight line winds in many cases. It's a broad area, that's why, and it's covering it in a straight line wind capacity. So Thompson Cross Road, again, northwest of that, we still got circulation. It looks like it's still got a little bit left there. So in the last couple scans, it looks like it is probably lifted back up. It's cycling. I would say it's safe to say, but still very strong. I mean, you're talking about significant winds that are anywhere from 50 to 55 mile per hour winds with that. And it's still aloft, but at any time could drop another tornado at any given spot now. So as it continues to move eastward. We're talking about till 4:15, but this will expire before then. It's 55 minutes.
We also have video from Toomer's Corner when the wind was initially coming through.
Okay, let's take a look at that. Here it is right here. So you were talking about 67 mile an hour wind gusts. This is Magnolia and College Street. Maybe not, it's not College. It's actually, it's not Toomer. Is it Toomer's Corner?
Yeah, it's Magnolia and College.
Oh, we're looking at this a different angle here. So that is Magnolia and College, and you could see the wind that came through here and how the street lamps were certainly bending. This is already passed through, and you see students that are on the bus, and again, you can't. It's easier said than done. You can't stop life when there's storms like this, but when you know days in advance, you hear people talk about it, it's never crying wolf. It's about preparation. You really got to be highly prepared in this time of year. Whenever we talk weather aware, no matter if it's just heavy rain, straight line winds, tornadoes, whatever it may be, any kind of disruptive weather, just know how you can navigate through it and know when you're all clear. So speaking of which, and that was shot earlier. What you're seeing on your screen, that is not now, but that was shot when that 67 mile per hour wind gust was clocked. Could have been more towards the airport, maybe not at that exact location, but you can see the winds were strong. Okay, the tornado's still rotating around Alley in the Primrose area, northeast of Thompson Crossroad. We're only in Meriwether County, still observed, and this is all east of St. Mark. So if you're on Georgia State Route 100, you're clear, all clear. Thompson Crossroad, you are clear, but I would wait before you head out. If there's any debris, can't stress enough, that puts first responders in more of a place where they cannot do their job because they're out there rescuing somebody because they stepped on broken glass, or they God forbid, you get electrocuted from down power lines. Stay inside, leave it to the first responders. They're going to get to it. Trust me, they'll get to it. If you feel the need to call, if there's ever a fire or something worse, you can make that call. You can see clearly just west of 27, US 27, that's where it's going now in Meriwether County, which eventually intersects just to the north of this Interstate 85. And after that, it'll be on Georgia State Route 362. And once it starts pulling right out of Meriwether, we'll get off of it, and Macon County will take over. This is their area after that. But this is still going to be some, I'm sure, damage right through here as we follow this all the way from Chambers County.
Yeah, this is near the Alley Road area, the Todd Road area, near the US 27, alternate US 27, where those run into it. Yeah,
and they shoot a lot of movies are up through this area here too. A lot of Hollywood of the South. They pick these areas too as well. I know The Walking Dead down in Gay, or is it just a little south, but north too. They certainly have a lot of facilities here, a lot of small towns, and of course this area here greatly impacted. You can see the debris that's still showing up. I would say it's pretty close because that last scan on radar is kind of advancing ahead of it. That would make more sense with the latest scan. and it is west of Georgia State Route 362. And certainly very heavy rain. So Greenville seems to be seeing a relief right now. So Greenville, you're more or less out of it. The leading edge of that has broken up. You can see this line or this boundary, we call it quasi linear convective system, and you get this line or squall line of storms that ride along it. It's kind of uneven. We start seeing some bowing out. Some places are breaking up. So we hope it does continue to do this, but we got a long genesis of the storm to go yet. It's going into a very warm area. We haven't even got really into the out of East Alabama or the majority of west central Georgia counties. As you can see, look at this. So we got a long ways to go here. We're still under a severe thunderstorm warning for northwest and good parts of northern parts of where Auburn, Lochapoka is, Opelika, but I think that's now riding right along Auburn at heavy rain. The gustier winds are moving towards Beauregard now. So there's no severe thunderstorm in southern Lee County, but it has been right along that Interstate 85 corridor, and it's kind of moving east. And that rain is a deluge. Didn't even talk about that. It makes roads very unsafe for the rate of rainfall that's coming down all the way back into Macon County when we get into Nosaga. So that's one of it too. Alabama 169. State Route 169. Beauregard, the winds are going to be picking up there for you. I know our residents there get very nervous. It's not a tornado, but you're going to have some strong gusty winds. And we're not seeing any evidence of any tornadoes forming on here. Of course, Maxwell Air Force Base get a little funky there with the live radar. Got the tornado warning now, but this is out of the viewing area down outside south of, and you can see down there, Jack, parts of Alabama, Coffee County. We'll watch that as it continues to move near Barber County. So we'll watch this if this does happen to come into Barber County eventually.
I think it's going to go into the southern part of Barber.
Yeah, Barber County, we're going to be probably tracking that very shortly. So if you're in Clio, south of Louisville, you follow, you're still ways out, but stay with us. That's tracking, and it's got a lot of energy with it.
I'm going to do a long track on it just to give
go right
a
ahead.
heads up.
Yeah, go right ahead. Let's give a heads up. Hey, go ahead, Kaylee, you can go ahead and keep it. Let's post that with that track too. You follow. We got to give our Eufaula residents a heads up.
Roughly about 55 miles per hour.
Sure. So I'll just back off here just for one moment here, 1 second, and just see. Yeah, we can do that.
All right. Some latest times, especially for. This is just an early heads up if this storm will clip Barber County. So Barber County, you're in the clear right now, but areas like Clio at 3:29, so under an hour, potentially moving towards you guys. Louisville around 3:33. All of these times are central. Clayton around 3:43, and then over towards the Baker Hill community around 3:52. So, and let me back it out and put Eufaula in this warning under this track as well, just to give you an early heads up. This is an early heads up just to see what the storm will do. And you can see Eufaula 2 minutes after 2 o'clock Central Time, potentially if this were to make a more northeasterly jog through Barber County. So we don't know what it's going to do. If it stays more eastwardly, you guys in Eufaula and northern Barber County would be good. We'll just be talking about Clio, parts of Blue Springs and Baker Hill. So this is just an early heads up for this storm in northern Coffee County. Where we are tracking a tornado, and it's just radar indicated at the moment, but still any tornado is a deadly tornado, potentially a deadly tornado.
Cody, we now have, we got folks, I got Daniela Chambers, says Casita, Alabama now, as it came through Chambers County. They're all Alabama, they said they're without power. They said they haven't had power for over 30 minutes now. That was about when that tornado came through. So obviously power lines are obviously down. You had reports of trees down, power lines down. So if you're Chambers County now, that's why we said stick with the WRBL radar app. You can see it here on the bottom right side of your screen. You can check out the QR code. It'll take you there. And for anybody who has not seen any of these storms yet, I'd advise it. Make sure your phones are powered up. Your mobile device, you can capture everything on the WRBL radar app and the WRBL news app too. Just check it out. We'll have live streaming there. We're also on Q1073 FM. If you lose power on your phone or for some reason there's disruption, you can go on Q1073 FM or PMB broadcast partners as well. Many ways of receiving life-threatening weather information. So winds and rain are just still very strong when it came out of Chambers County. We appreciate that update without power. We have, let's see if there's anybody else here, any kind of weather updates, but yeah, we were looking at as well. And so, yeah, it looks like everybody's doing pretty good. They're happy about that. It looks like our LaGrange, Troup County residents, you are out in the clear right now, but we're still watching the southern edge of this where there's a line of severe thunderstorms. that continue out of Lee County. It's from Beauregard southeast in Smith Station. You're not under that severe thunderstorm warning right now. So this is interesting. I'm watching this. It seems like this northern portion and northern third of Lee County is going to eventually just kind of lift north and east and come across Harris County, potentially with some strong damaging winds. And then it moves towards Manchester. Well, Manchester will be in there first. But it's that southern part we're going to have to watch. It seems like it'll split from Lee and Macon County. Tuskegee, you're doing good right now. I mean, you're doing good right now. And but if you're in Lee County here, north of Auburn, it's starting to lessen. So if you're in Auburn, and you're good. You're starting to see it lessen up here. Still a lot of lightning. I'm not saying go out and hang out there, but it's starting to, the worst part is this east-northeast of you, but it is in Opelika. Here's a live camera shot now. In the Jordan Hare Stadium area. You can see folks with wide umbrellas. They look okay. This is about what you're seeing now. So that's what I'm saying. This area here, although it's very low clouds, poor visibility, it's still windy, gusty. There's still a lot of lightning in the area. It would never be advised to be out, but just keep that in mind. But earlier gusts up to 67 miles per hour clock near the airport, and it took down a lot of, you could see some infrastructure on the fence was blown about. So now that that's kind of lifting north and east, Beauregard is just seeing just rain right now. Crawford, Smith Station, you're still good. You're not in that warning, okay? That'll expire shortly.
Got a new severe thunderstorm.
And that's the new one. I'll say that would probably just be continuing in Harris County. So Harris and Talbot counties, and as I said, into areas of Meriwether County as well. So Meriwether County you see here, but if you're in Thomaston, as far out, Talbotton, Waverly Hall, Manchester, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning as this starts to bow out. This has got strong winds, and this will easily topple over trees along that line. It doesn't mean everywhere, but there's embedded areas that you have to watch. We'll do some velocity scans on it and see where we think the greatest threat would be. But for example, Shiloh, there could be damaging wind there. And you guys know what I'm talking about. This is south of 190. If you're in the 190 area, you're okay. If you're east of that Hamilton, it's just southeast of Hamilton now, strong winds. But it is headed towards Waverly Hall, populated area, Ellerslie eventually. And Cody will take that all the way out. Let me just read these to you. So Shiloh, about 7 minutes after the hour, 2 minutes out. Manchester, 9 minutes after on Meriwether County, the same polygon. Waverly Hall, we're talking about 14 minutes after. Winds are going to be picking up. So again, get that QR code, keep us locked here, or Q1073. Woodland, Olive Branch, and that's going east, and all the way to Talbot County and to Talbotton about 25 minutes after the hour. It's about 20 minutes out for Talbot County. Okay, Hamilton had the strongest winds that just moved through. Shiloh does in this portion of that, and that's what we look at. So otherwise, you're just going to have wind gusts up to 20 and some heavy rain in between there. Okay, you'll be able to sustain that. So the areas we showed you, and again, Hamilton just had that strong wind gust. It's going to be moving towards Waverly Hall. Could we get any, I don't think we're going to get much out of it, but I'm going to guess maybe 20, 30 mile an hour winds right along it, maybe 40 tops. Yeah, maybe like let's just say about 30, under that, about 30 to 35 mile an hour winds. Just so keep that in mind. So Cody's getting it, and that again, you got a wicked tree, 35 mile an hour gust, boom, and it just comes down. So right along that severe thunderstorm warning, because at any time for areas around Harris County, southern Meriwether, Talbot, and Upson County is out of the viewing area, but that could produce a tornado possible at any time because we've been seeing it the way it's been behaving. As it builds and moves eastward, you get some rotation right on the outside edge of that squall line, and that's what we've been seeing. So we're going to watch that closely. So everybody should kind of take your shelter precautions. I would, even as a severe thunderstorm warning, if you have any trees or high trees around, get into the lower section of a home. Never be in the top section of a home, a second floor. Never do it. Always get in that low-level section. Tornado is possible. We're highlighting that. It's impossible. It's important to note that, because we've been seeing some areas of rotation along that, and they can easily start to wind up with all that strength and velocity that's coming through in the speed in the atmosphere, and that's what we've been seeing all day today. So this could be a new setup. It's a whole different thing because you're going into an atmosphere that's very primed, that hasn't been tapped from any other moisture earlier, and frankly, the winds are so volatile and strong, there's so much forcing, Cody. It seems like even with areas of sun today and the lack thereof, we're still seeing this hold up regardless. So that's why we take that quite seriously. I think at this point, I think it's safe to say let's leave the tornado warning up in Meriwether. It's getting out of our area. It's going into the Macon County, the Griffin area, Concord. That just wanted to sign off on that for our folks here that are watching, our friends in Woodbury too. It's pretty much well north of you, south of Harrelson. It's kind of like Peachtree City, the McDonough area, Griffin. It'll probably be more of the Atlanta market. We'll start to pick that up shortly. And for us, we're not leaving you down, but I know many of you are not. We just lost a lot of our viewers, anybody on off air. But let's start talking down here. We'll focus on a severe thunderstorm warning through Auburn that is leaving there. It's moving into Harris County. There'll still be more energy. And that tornado warning that Cody's pointed out on, there's that risk of it coming into southern portions of Barber County. Even with a long track, Cody, this is what you had to feature and show.
Yeah, that's right, and that's why we gave that early heads up about probably 10 minutes ago for southern Barber County. It's kind of riding the county line here between Coffee and about Pike, but overall the tornado has been in northern Coffee County between the communities of Jack and Frisco. That's where we have a good circulation and a tornado warning for Coffee County. Radar indicated, so that's been good. It's been radar indicated for at least I think its duration, but it will be moving into parts of northern Dale County, southern Barber County. Potentially, we may get that tornado warning on the southern end of Barber County as this tornado warning or potential tornado moves off towards the northeast here, or really east-northeast, around 50-55 miles per hour, and it's right around Alabama 167 between Jack and Frisco, and also just north of the community of Victoria. Enterprise is not in this. If you know where Enterprise is, down in the southern part of Coffee County, this is well north of Enterprise. Ozark not included in this. Dothan off towards the southeast with this, and just give you a point of reference, but overall it's a pretty good looking storm because it is by itself. This is a discrete storm, a discrete supercell. This is the kind of storm that produced the damage earlier today out in Selma, through Autauga County, through parts of Elmore and Coosa, and parts of Tallapoosa County as well, where we had significant damage. We also have some damage reports pouring in for Chambers County, northern Chambers County, that tornado we were tracking here in the News Viewing area, and now we're focusing our attention to the southern end of this system as we have another storm ahead of the line, which it could potentially do the same thing. Hopefully it's not as we go throughout the next hour or so, but we're going to continue to track it, especially for Barber County. This is south of Troy, south of Brundage, but moving into the communities of Clio and Blue Springs potentially if it kind of jogs more off towards the north. And that tornado warning for Coffee County, 3:15 Central Time. Again, no formal tornado warning for Barber County, but it's riding weather office areas, so they may pull the trigger just because it may pose that threat. And
that's exactly what happened earlier. That's why 2 hours leading up to the Chambers County one, we just locked in on that one that did considerable damage, and that's why the earlier the better. That's what we're looking at, as Cody just pointed out, which is great. There's some hail with this too, southwest of Brundage. You can see the pink when you see that kind of reflectivity on your WRBL radar app, and you can download that now in the QR code and get the latest weather just in case the power goes out. Be certain that you have some kind of information, your NOAA weather radios, whatever it may be, if power does go out. But the tornado is possible, of course, with that. But that's the area of hail that we're highlighting here, right along Alabama State Route 125. But again, that long track, if it continues, it's all east of Jack, which is Alabama 87. It is now moving northeast of Victoria from 125 and headed towards Alabama 51 and Ayrton and all the way back up. And we're going to be watching it as it's that southwest little corner right here of Barber County. And we'll be watching Clio and areas point eastward. And as Cody pointed out, sometimes it's, there you go, you got a severe thunderstorm warning now. So there you go, Cody. So you did say they're going to do that to kind of cover themselves to give you and frankly it is. I mean, you could see the outflow winds here. There's straight line winds in Brundage now. The tornado threat is to the south, but to the north of it, it's more of a severe thunderstorm, straight line winds, which don't downplay either. That's significant enough from Louisville and Clio to we're just talking about to be in a safe spot as soon as you can. And then eventually we'll include Eufaula and Baker Hill all the way through Barber County, and we'll see how that interacts too, even south of that. Once it gets over the border, we'll see what Stewart County, Georgia does and all that. So, I mean, we could take it even into Stewart County just to give you an idea. So, Cody will take it right in there. So, Ayrton, Clio, those are Barber County areas. Abbeville, that's south of that. going down into Henry, Coffee County areas. Those are the ones who had it earlier. Osco, Eufaula would take it at 4 even Central Time. That's 5 o'clock Eastern. It's roughly about 45 minutes away, okay? So you still got some time, but just keep that in mind. Straight line winds and a lot of trees don't mix well, and that would include you in Baker Hill, as we just said, is that far south part of it, which would be most likely Baker Hill, but Eufaula is in that just as well. Clayton is too far north at this point. But again, there's still mostly a line. And that tornado warning to the south of that appears still to remain just there, but there's still a threat to see that. It looks like it's separating. It's almost becoming two portions of it. We got circulation in two areas, just Chestnut Grove and the Frisco area. And just to the east of that, before you get to Rocky Head, you got some new circulation forming ahead of that. And again, it looks like it's not, real defined, but there's definitely some circulation, like two areas right there. So, these are not your typical spring storm setups that you would see, but some of the strength of these would certainly be seen, especially across central Alabama earlier this afternoon. So hail is embedded in this as well, south of Brundage. So still consider that. The hail cores on these have been anywhere about, you can see about an inch, quarter size of what we've seen as far north is in our Georgia counties, and everything that's off to the east of this too, we'll be watching as it continues to move that way, east and northeast. And you can see where Clio is right there. So no doubt this is a very strong system, and you can see it right as it crosses parts of 231 here. As far as that tornado warning, it seems like it probably will just hug the Barber County line and stay farther south in these counties of Coffee and Dale counties, but it's already leaving there. It's into those areas south and east of us. The Union Springs area, Fort Davis, Hurtsboro, we still got to watch for strong gusty winds. We don't have the tornado possible. I don't think we still do up in Harris County. Let's just check that one more time and see what's going on. They finally got rid of that. So if at Talbotton, still a tornado possible, and it's headed towards Waverly Hall. It's out of Hamilton with heavy rain, so it's really the leading edge of this. So Manchester's kind of clear. Not clear that the weather's clear. I don't want to be certain about that. It's really right along this leading edge is where if there's a tornado is where we're looking at. So Hamilton's clear of any tornado, so is Pine Mountain threat. It's really the strong winds here, and you could see them. They're very linear. He's going to rock it back, Cody, to see. The circulation's there, of course, but it's linear in fashion. In other words, it's flowing even in a way, even Steven. It's not doing this. It's not going circulating or counterclockwise. So that's how we could tell. These are more straight line winds, but straight line winds in this kind of environment could sometimes cause something to rotate in the atmosphere and possibly drop a tornado. At this point, they're more straight line. And those straight line winds, if we can track that portion of it right here, specifically just that's where the strongest winds are, and we can even get a track on that to see what those winds will be. So I'm going to give you this right here. If you're in Waverly Hall, let me move out of the way here. I can always remember where this is. You're talking about 21 minutes after the hour. It's 16 minutes after the hour, so some strong winds and a straight line winds and some damage with this. We checked it earlier. They're showing maybe about 30, maybe 40 mile per hour gusts with that. And that's enough to do a little damage. And to the southwest of that as well, under this as well. Osahatchee would be another place to look at 23 minutes, just right down the road. Once you're getting towards 315 and going towards Ellerslie. Talbotton, too. We'll go to Talbotton right along 208 and point southward would be about 31 minutes after the hour. And Kaylee knows there's a lot of trees around there, too. So you're talking about, winds that are just about 40-ish at the most. So those areas, too, right along 208 and 315.
Olive Branch, you're looking at about 425. That's a little past Osahatchee and right before Talbotton, down 208 and 315 where they connect. So you do have a few minutes before these winds get to you. Even Junction City, 4:45 p.m. Eastern Time, and Brownstown, you're looking at about 4:50 Eastern Time. So you do have a few minutes, roughly 30 minutes to get into your safe place. But once again, Talbotton, these winds will be into your area within the next 10-15 minutes. So go ahead, get inside, get in your safe place. The lowest level of your home, if you have a one level like I do, get into the innermost room of your house, away from any windows with these winds, because even though you do not have a tornado warning, these winds can get up to 60 miles per hour gusts, Bob. That's
great advice, Kaylee, because you don't consider that. Tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning, take them both seriously, in other words, because at any given time you could see that. Along this line, however, there's still a little weak rotation right along there. So I think it's safe to say we're seeing any greater areas about 37. Again, about close to about 40 miles an hour being the strongest gust on this. So, and that's coming towards Waverly Hall right now, and as Kaylee just pointed out, in those areas too. So we see something.
We're getting a tornado warning.
Yeah, there you go. Go figure. And that's where they're going to put that one. It's to the south now in Barber County. So we'll stick down here now for a second, so you know what's happening up in Harris right now. We don't see. If we see anything, we're going to drive right back to any area that could be life-threatening. So why we went. Of course, that long track was worth it. We were looking at that, and it certainly all afternoon we've been right on, spot on, even with earlier from the one outside of Selma hitting our Chambers County. And that was an hour and a half, 2 hour warning on that for us, just giving you a heads up. We're giving you a heads up now for County Road 15. Definitely take in southern Barber County, anyone in southern Barber County, anybody that is just to the east of 231, US 231, seek shelter in the Elmville area, River Road area, the Doster area, State Route 51 in Alabama that runs you all the way through, County Road 13, County Road 15, and that's Atkinsville, seek shelter immediately. And that would even take you across Alabama, State Route 51, Stokes Road, and going into County Road 33. And that's also Alabama, State Route 10. You can see in the bottom right-hand part of your screen, not a bad idea, power's going out. We've been getting power outages with this as well. If we can use a QR code, you can do that if you don't already have it on your phone and your mobile device. Just go ahead and scan it right over that. You can put your camera on there as well, tap it, and it'll take you right to our WRBL radar app page, weather app, and we're streaming live if the power goes out. Make sure you got enough power on that mobile device and also on Q1073 FM.
Speaking of that, we have power outages up around LaGrange.
Okay, just so that confirms that tornado in South LaGrange that came through and over Troup High School. And that's some good news. There was no reports of any students. We're all safe there in the gym. The coach was there, the football coach, and everything looks great. So that's some great news. But for all of us here in southern Barber County, now we got to take precautions. There's a lot of populated areas here. It takes you all the way to County Road 41. Okay, that's southeast corner of Barber County. Does not include Louisville. Barely includes Clio, but really it's all south of Eufaula. But Eufaula, you could still have some strong winds on the northern side of this.
That's right. Going back to power outages, roughly about 5,500 customers in Troup County without power. Yeah,
it is. And so that could be very similar with any of these kind of things. So that's how quick. It takes one tree, two trees, topples over in a power line, and that's it. And then the way that grid system is, it will shut off. It's a safety feature. But if you see power lines down, always assume they're hot. Rings of electricity will form, and you could get electrocuted just 30 feet away. So never go near them. The professionals will be out there. The linesmen will be out there.
Harris County, about 1,500 customers.
1,500 in Harris County now.
1,200 over in Chambers County. I expect that to go up.
Okay, yeah, those numbers will go up, as we said it would. You said today this would be nothing but a lot of power outages, too, with the line.
And Lee County is just shy of 2,000.
Okay. See, and that stresses people out. They think when the power's out, do I have a tornado? Not necessarily. Add perspective. Get that app, as we just said. Make sure you can stay with us, because you have no power, your TV is, boom, out. So we're doing TV, we're doing streaming on Facebook Live, we're at WRBL.com, we're on our radar apps, and you're good to go in our news app, so you could catch us that way. And if it becomes life-threatening, we'll do a multiple stream on Q1073 FM. So can't stress it enough. So at this point, we don't have anything confirmed. It is at this juncture radar indicated, and we're looking at anywhere south of Alabama, State Route 10, in the most southern portion of Barber County. We'll take it as far east as Baker's area, outside of Baker Hill, outside of Blue Springs. It would even cut across the counties of, we told you, outside of Barber, and it'll include all the way to the south of that too. Wondering if it spills into Georgia, it still can. We'll be watching that for areas around maybe southern equipment, but like Clay County as well. We'll watch that coming up, because Fort Gaines earlier, we had some strong storms, and it just kind of fell apart before it went in there as well. So Fort Gaines, you may see another round of some good thunderstorm activity coming your way. The line, this is level 2 live radar. It seems to be, it's starting to do its like kind of snaky thing. So you get just areas. So I guess you can see, just if we just widen it out here, you can see what's going on. The tornado, again, this line kind of separated from the main back edge of the line. What we're doing now, we're using NOWRAD radar. This is not live, but this is what shows more radar data over time, so we could kind of get the sense of where everything is. Montgomery, Alabama now is clear. Tuskegee's clearing with the front coming through, Cody.
All right, just looking at a surface analysis, this is where we have the greatest instability.
Yeah.
So that may tap some of that and may become stronger.
Yeah, and that's what we've been saying all day. So this is not over yet. It's 23 minutes after the hour. I would say we're going to be easily here for another, I hate to say this, could be, Kaylee, could be another couple hours here. But we have to stay here with you. So we're going to take little breaks here so our Mets can get a vocal break. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back off just for 1 second. I'm going to have Kaylee and Cody drive this a little bit just for a moment, and I'll be back. But again, stay with News 3 on these platforms. I'll be working behind the scenes with you on social media as well, just for a second to rest the voice for just a moment.
All right, we are tracking this tornado, radar indicated tornado coming up on Barber County. It's really located where Barber, Pike, and also parts of northern Dale and Coffee counties come together. Where all 4 of those counties come together is where we kind of have that area of concern, just close to the community of Arlington. In northern Dale County, that takes you back up into Clio. That's where we have this area of concern. You can see the circulation just right around that community. Very broad rotation as we get up towards Jack Jones Road, back up towards Alabama 51. That takes you into the Elamville community, also near the River Road area in parts of Barber County. And we continue to get those damage reports to file in out of parts of Chambers County. Also reports of a potential touchdown near Greenville. Reports of a house leveled up in that community as well. Lots of trees and power outages down around that. The Georgia 109, US 27 area around parts of Greenville. That tornado we were tracking back up towards the community of St. Mark's and Alley. And we've also had reports of damage or power outages come out of Troup County. The damage has been more so Chambers County with that cluster of storms that we were tracking that produced a potential deadly tornado in parts of Alabama. Okay, and
Kaylee, too, you're looking at that. We're seeing a lot of pictures. I just want to let everybody know from Dadeville. I want to share a lot of these with you, but we have to get permission from some of these viewers. But there's quite a bit. And I'm in the process of doing that right now, so we can you can see these were definitely strong tornadoes earlier, and we got some from Troup County right now from Mercer Van Shore. I'm gonna share some of these with our folks too.
All right, and we continue to track this circulation, Bob. Just it's very broad rotation, nothing too tight with this system that is giving us any indication of a tornado, but we do have a radar indicated circulation moving into southern Barber County right now, just around the community of Clio, back across parts of Blue Springs, and then it does include Baker Hill. If you were in Eufaula, you're good. At the moment, you may be dealing with some heavy rainfall as we go throughout the next, I would say probably 20 minutes or so, you'll start to get some of the rain. You can see the cluster of lightning associated around that circulation. Lightning is an indicator of storm intensity. When you have more lightning, you have a stronger storm, and it's usually associated right around that area of circulation. And you can see that's kind of where it's clustered right around Clio, between Brundage, Arlington, and Clio, where we have that cluster of lightning. But the rotation is just not there, in my opinion, unless it's starting to somewhat wrap up here around the Doster area, near the Doster community, around Alabama. I believe that's Alabama 51 that runs you back up towards Clio. County Road 13, tornado precautions, take those now. County Road 15, Tills Crossroads, also around County Road 72 and County Road 23. That is just on the other side of the community of Atkinsville, before you get to Alabama 10, that takes you back into Blue Springs. So this is where this area, areas that need to be watching this potential tornado, as we could tap some of that very unstable air that we are talking about, and potentially we might actually be getting something on the ground here as a potential tornado. We don't have anything confirmed yet, but it looks like something is starting to rotate, and we'll put a track on this, and I'll let Kaylee read those times for you as we go off towards the east here, around 50, 55 miles per hour. And there you go. Kaylee, just read those off for us, please.
So like Cody said, these storms are moving very fast towards the east. Right now, just south of Doster, towards Atkinsville by 3:30 Central Time, towards Teals Crossroads by 3:30 Central Time. So you only have just a few minutes to get into your safe place. Once again, this is not a confirmed tornado on the ground, but like Cody said, this is starting to wrap up. So we could have a confirmed tornado on the ground in just a few minutes. But even if this is not confirmed, we do have very strong winds with this of up to 60 miles per hour and almost an inch of hail as this progresses towards the east. Blue Springs, this will be in your area by 3:37 Central Time. So once again, you only have about 10 minutes to get into your safe place. Edwin, you are just outside of this warning, but this could be extended as this moves further east. This is moving slightly towards the northeast, but I don't know if this will be, have they talked about it being extended?
Okay, we got an observed tornado now.
Okay, an observed tornado on the ground. Do we have any debris yet?
There we go. We got a debris ball. It's right there.
Just south of Elmaville, right to the west of County Road 13, going towards Atkinsville. So Atkinsville, if you are not in your safe place, go ahead and get in your safe place. So areas that will be affected: Eastern Lee's Mill Road, County Road 15. This is coming your way in just the next few minutes. So Atkinsville, 3:31 p.m. Central Time. If you are not in your safe place, go ahead and get in your safe place. This includes County Road 15. You should not be on the roads right now. This is an observed tornado on the ground. We do have debris already being lofted into the air. Once again, County Road 23, you are in the path of this as well. And here you can see Cody's drawing a circle around the debris ball and the potential tornado, the observed tornado on the ground. Just getting ready to cross over County Road 13, County Road 15. You are in the track of this as well. Atkinsville, this will cross just north of you, but go ahead and get in your safe place because once again, this is an observed tornado on the ground. County Road 23, this will cross over you in just the next few minutes, so go ahead and get off the roads. Get in a safe place, get in your shelter. Teals Crossroads, you are also in this path as well. And then we will continue to see this track possibly get extended in the next few minutes. So if you have not gotten in your safe place, go ahead and get in the lowest area of your home. If you have a 1 level, get in the innermost room of your home away from any windows because this is an observed tornado. Do we have any wind speeds? Can you give me?
Yeah, I can.
Thank you.
We're also getting reports of some damage out of Troup County again. So you can see that roughly probably a little over about 85 miles per hour in that circulation.
Yeah.
Kaylee.
So we got strong winds as it starts to cross over County Road 13 towards County Road 15. Go ahead and get off the roads once again into a shelter because this is a confirmed tornado on the ground just south of Doster right now and Elmaville. And we're crossing towards Atkinsville in the next few minutes. So go ahead and get in your safe place if you have not already.
Yeah, that's some good advice. Tornado precautions for Blue Springs, Baker Hill. Eufaula still not technically not covered under this warning, but you're going to be seeing the heavy rain potentially. But this could it's continuing to wrap up near the Atkinsville community, just south of the Clio community in parts of Barber County. That's where we have that confirmed tornado right now. And speaking of some more damage reports, emergency management is reporting trees, power lines down in Opelika. So that is probably a result from that damaging straight line wind event. We also have the severe thunderstorm warning for this storm that is included on the northern half of the storm that includes Eufaula and parts of Louisville. The wind has been up to 70 miles per hour as this continues to push off towards the east, northeast. Probably more northeastwardly here towards Blue Springs as it goes towards Alabama 10. That's where we're going to be talking about this observed tornado because we've had reports of debris already with the radar picking it up. County Road 23, County Road 15, Tyler Street. Tornado precautions if you live along Alabama 10 that runs you through Clio and Blue Springs, even back up towards the Tyler Crossroads area, Alabama 131, towards Texasville. Northern Henry County, technically not under any tornado warning at the moment, but you might, as this kind of may clip the county line here near Edgefield, and then back over towards Richards Crossroads, and then back up towards White Oak and Therese, which was hit hard by a tornado back in March that hit the golf course area there. So, and then also potentially may cross the river if it continues on its track. So that's just a rundown of where this storm could go as it moves off towards the east. And even in the precipitation mode, Kaylee, you can see how it's kind of wrapping up. We got that kind of like a fish hook almost, where we're getting that wind to circulate, and we're getting a tornado produced on that is it's reached the ground since we have confirmation of debris.
Yeah, just west of Blue Springs. Right now, currently crossing over County Road 23, so you do not need to be out on the roads. Even if you are not under a tornado warning right now, we have a lot of rain and a lot of strong winds and even hail with this squall line moving through. So just west of Blue Springs, moving towards County Road 23 and County Road 33, just south of Tyler Crossroads. Now, as this continues to move towards the northeast, we will see it moves towards Texasville and just south of Eufaula. Now, Eufaula, you are not in this current tornado warning, but if this is extended, it should be just south of you. But just keep an eye on this as it continues to track just to the northeast. Now, this is just south of Clio right now. Thank you. And tracking towards State Route 10. Now, if you have not already gotten your safe place, I do stress this, go ahead and get in your safe place. And if Cody, you could get a track on me, so track on this for me real quick.
Yep, we'll do.
So once again, moving towards State Route 131 in just a few moments, towards Blue Springs by 3:38 Central Time, Texasville by 3:44. So you only have about 15 minutes if you're in Texasville to get in your safe place. Edwin by 3:46 p.m. So these are very fast moving storms, 55 miles per hour. That's how fast this confirmed tornado is moving. We have hail of up to an inch. Cody, do we have any confirmed hail reports right now with this storm?
Confirmed hail reports with this storm, I have not seen any. We are seeing some trees down, though, back around Highway 123, County Road 120, in the community of Arlington, blocking the roadways, so it is producing some wind damage. Haven't seen any reports of hail, but we may see maybe some small hail fall out of that storm, but nothing probably bigger than probably pea or maybe even dime size.
This storm right now, it's just the same when it came through Pike. The history of that, besides the hail you're showing right now, numerous large trees right along US 231 and all those neighboring roads right around that Pike and Coffee line before it got into Barber County. So clearly this has definitely got a lot of energy, and it's going to behave a little differently, I think. And I'm going to back it up here for a second. Kaylee, if you can show them, we still have an area that's very volatile. I would say very respectfully, just seeing a setup with a little bit more available energy through here. And this area, I believe I might be going a little bit too broad north, but anyway, look, it might be a little bit farther south. But this area here, we got to see how this intersects. You still got the southern portion here that's lifting north and east, and you still got the back edge of this right here of the physical squall line. So it's like kind of breaking apart but splitting, and so that's why we got to watch this. This is a continuation. It's 4:36 Eastern, 3:36 Central, and still has some time. I think the physical line is what I want to just try to give everyone a sense, because I'm just getting a lot of questions, and we're trying to get weather video of the tornado. We're going to be showing that very shortly. Got some exclusive video of that coming up. But if you are looking here and we take it and rock it back 1 hour, and roughly this whole line, it's like, when is this going to finally kick out of here, right? So probably like a 47, it's been pretty consistent since early this afternoon. So we're going to do a squall line on the squall at 7, and pretty close to what we had. Let's up it to 48, and we're gonna just talk about the northern portion of this, because this is going to kick out the stuff to the south. Columbus, Georgia is seeing a lot of lightning now. Phoenix City, not severe, but it's certainly a lot of lightning. So if we take it in this area here, Fort Benning closely to about like 51 minutes after this hour. Casita in Chattahoochee County, not to be confused with Chambers County earlier, and all the way to Macon. So you could see that'll be about 5:30. So a good chunk of this should be really exiting out of the New Street viewing area, hopefully before 6 o'clock. And the southern portion of this, where the tornado warning is, pardon me, for our southernmost counties, the leading edge of that will be coming your way. Shelman, for example, residents in Shellman to about 31 after 5 o'clock. Cuthbert, Randolph County, 17 minutes after. Baker Hill, about 3:44. So there you have it. So we're still looking at that to be some of the issues there. We're going to see the first part of this line intersect and push this out. So we got all this coming in, and that will push this out ahead of it where the tornado is right now. And that's what's giving it that forward momentum right now on that. So so there you go. So Kaylee walking us through the time on this again could give us an idea with this tornado warning. And let me go back to give you some velocity scans here so you can kind of see what we're talking about outside of Blue Springs. So let's get street level here and show you what's going on. There you go.
Yeah, we have a confirmed tornado on the ground just west of Blue Springs and County Road 33 and Jonestown Road. So if you have not already gotten your safe place, I will stress again, go ahead and get in your safe place. If you are in Blue Springs and on State Route 10, go ahead and get off the roads because you do not need to be on the roads at this time. Now, as this continues to move towards the northeast, as you can see, we have very strong winds, over 80 miles per hour right now, and moving towards the northeast. And if Bob, you can get a track on this for me, it will continue to move towards the northeast, towards Anderson Church Road, Mavis Carroll Road, and Spivey Pit Road. This is going to move just to the north of you, so you will see some strong winds, but this should be, you should be in the clear as this continues to move towards the northeast. County Road moved just a little bit to the north so I can see.
Okay, yeah. Could you take over driving?
Thank you.
Batteries are dying.
Okay. So 3:39 p.m. Central Time, that's Blue Springs. It will start to move into your area. So right now, you should start to see that strong wind moving into your area and that confirmed tornado on the ground. Now, as this continues to move towards County Road 53, that is still in this observed tornado warning polygon, so you are under this warning as well. County Road 130, you are under this as well, and this will continue to move towards the northeast. Now, these storms are moving very fast, about 55 miles per hour, so you really only have about 10-20 minutes to get into your safe place in this warning zone, and this will continue to move towards the northeast just south of Eufaula. Now, Eufaula, if this is extended, this will be just south of you potentially, so but do not take that for granted. Go ahead and stay in your safe place, stay at home, because this, you could be included in this area, especially those communities just south of Eufaula once this warning is extended. Texasville, you are included in this warning as well. Edgeville, Richards Crossing, even Baker Hill as well. We are keeping an eye on State Route 131. This will travel really right along your area and along this route as well. So go ahead and get off State Route 131, get into a safe place. We are keeping an eye on 431 as well, especially near the end of this warning. Now, once again, I said that as this continues to move towards the northeast, it will pass just south of Eufaula if this warning is chosen to extend. Now, can I get the velocity for me real quick? Thank you. Now, this is just passing just to the east now. It's going to pass through Blue Springs, but I'm sure we are getting wind reports, damage reports as this continues to move through. And I don't know if they have chosen to extend it yet, but once again, we do have a confirmed tornado on the ground just to the east of Blue Springs right now and tracking towards the northeast, Cody.
Yeah, I think we may get a new tornado warning to include Henry County, just on the just right outside the New Street viewing area, just north of the Abbeville area, and may get extended over towards parts of Fort Gaines and Clay County. But overall, we are watching a confirmed tornado, observed tornado, right here just around the community of Blue Springs. So it may start to trip northern Henry County, near US 431, back over towards the lake here in Clay County. We may get Clay County involved with this new tornado warning, even possibly southern Quitman involved, and also parts of Randolph County, because this storm is going to be tapping a atmosphere that, even though it saw some storms earlier this afternoon, it kind of already has returned to being unstable. So we're going to be tapping that moisture, that instability, as it continues to push off towards the east here. And we continue to get reports of trees down with this system that produced down in Dale County. with some trees down. We do have not a tornado warning, a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Quitman and Clay County. That is just ahead of this system, and you can see that it goes until 5:30 Eastern Time, tornado possible with this storm as it continues to push off towards the east. So the tornadic circulation of this storm is pushing past Blue Springs, going to be kind of riding the Barber-Henry County line here around Texasville, Edwin, Edgefield. If you know these communities, it is coming up towards you. Henry County is about to go under a tornado warning per the National Weather Service, so that's why we've been warning you ahead of time. And it may also be issued downstream as well, like I've been saying, to include parts of Clay County, northern Clay County. Might not include Fort Gaines, even though we got a good viewing audience down in Fort Gaines. It may just clip the northern portions of Clay County. But overall, that circulation is starting to move out of Barber County, moving into Henry County. Going to ride the county line here for a good chunk until we get to the Georgia border, potentially. So Baker Hill, you might be good, but you're still in that tornado warning at the moment. And there's that new tornado warning. It does not include any of our Georgia counties. It is just for Henry County until 4:15 Central Time as the circulation moves into northern Henry County. But the Henry County tornado is radar indicated. I think we've moved away from the observed, even though the Birmingham National Weather Service has kept it as observed. I don't think we have any correlation or debris with this system at the moment. Circulation continues to tighten, and it continues to track near 431 and then over towards Lake Eufaula, like we've been saying. Over towards the Ricks Place area on the lake there, and then back over towards southern parts of Clay, or northern Clay, southern Quitman, potentially as this storm rolls on, and then Cuthbert, Randolph County, heads up. You're potentially going to be affected by this.
Now there's a mesoscale update on that, so downstream environment, we're still considering that as well. The low probability of destructive interference, but still, that, as Cody has pointed out, it'll continue to move and track into that Randolph County area potentially. Moving back up to Pine Mountain, Harris County too, there's still folks without power up there getting reports. They said they had very strong winds when it came through. So Columbus now getting some showers and thunderstorms. We're not under any tornado warning or any severe thunderstorm warnings that have expired even for Harris County. But Harris County, again, power outages up in the Pine Mountain area. I'm trying to think it might be more diverse power, but either way, or Georgia, there might be Georgia power up there. I take that back. Diverse power a little bit farther south in central Harris County.
Almost 6,000 customers in Troup County without power.
Now 6,000. So
Meriwether a little over 3.
It's quite a bit.
And then Harris County just shy of 500.
Okay, 500.
So that's actually improved a bit.
Yeah, they're getting people up right away. So it could have just been, again, it's all it takes is one tree, one power line. It can knock out 2,000 people. You fix one and you restore
and
power.
On the Alabama side, Lee County, the most, almost 2,700. Chambers County, 1,500.
Okay,
still.
There's your power update. And that's been the disruptive portion of this at this point. The only part up north across Harris County, some very heavy rain still continues up northwest Harris County, northwest of Waverly Hall. No reports any damage there, just in the power outages as we just told you. Cody and Kaylee were talking about southeast of Columbus. That south portion and southeast portion of the news reviewing area is very prime, what we say downstream. So we're going to watch the areas right around like Clay, Quitman, Randolph, possibly Stewart County, and areas around Webster County, including Sly County, Sumter County. This area here, we still got to see what's coming out of Macon County, Alabama. Once this comes down farther south and east, this environment here that we have circled, we call that, again, downstream. We're going to be watching that as far as being very favorable for this to sustain the same energy that's coming out of here with this tornado warning that's coming out from the south. So even though it would be leaving our Barber County area, the Henry County area now will continue to cross the river and then get into areas around Clay County. I'll say it one more time. I'm just getting some information. Okay, Chambers County 1,000 out. So yeah,
Okay,
Cody,
1,000.
so 1,000. So thank you for that. Our producer letting us know there. Our news director, take that back. News director is letting us know that Connor Hackling. So we're looking at this continuing off to the east. Is a severe thunderstorm warning is kind of covering you. We know that it is very strong, but at any time a tornado will be possible as soon as this exits out of areas of Henry County and then moving off towards the east in our Georgia County. So we need to watch this very closely. Our southeast counties, and that we're talking about is 47 minutes after the hour of 4. This is easily taking us to about 5:30 Eastern time with continuous coverage of this weather. So again, we look outside of Blue Springs. You can see the two areas here that's meeting it. I'm seeing more of a little bit of a little tightening in the center. There could be a little rain wrap tornado, but there's generally it's more of a straight line event. As you can see here, that's good, but it's still trying to tuck itself in. So there's still some minimal rotation with that, but mainly outflow winds as it is coming in that county. I hope it sustains that way before it gets over to the Chattahoochee area river and of course all the areas that are south of Lake Eufaula. And those areas point southward. Fort Gaines, this would put you in an unfavorable area, so just hang tight, get into a safe spot because Georgia State Route 39, it runs parallel to the river on the east side of that too we want to watch out for. And again, as you can see it continuing now, radar is indicated, now it is actually observed. They're saying we got observed tornado in this area that will continue with that severe thunderstorm warning that goes into our Georgia counties since that environment will likely support that. Is there debris? Yes. The northern part of that, that's where the debris is. A little bit here. This is kind of anomalous data, but you can see when you rock it. It looks like it could be just a little bit. That's too far north, I think, but still, it's possible. And if you could see that rain now, we have a lot of people populated in the Phoenix City, Columbus side. And you got to see what's going on here. Let's go to Columbus right now and show you what's happening. We got a live picture to show you what this heavy rain's doing. So again, treacherous driving conditions, shouldn't really be out there on a J.R. Allen Parkway. Anywhere that you don't need to be, not necessary. You can hydroplane quite easily. Rate of rainfall come down quite heavily here, and we'll take that live as soon as we can. But right around the Columbus area, that rain is moving right in. You hear a tremendous amount of lightning. That includes Smith Station too. Take a look at this. We're live right now in a safe spot. We're kind of tucked under a garage here. You could see the opening, and once we steady the shot, you'll see those clouds moving rapidly underneath, and there's a closer view of that, and you can kind of see as we focus in here, we're live in uptown Columbus, and again, the skies are pretty volatile looking. You could see how those clouds, they kind of linger a little bit lower. Sometimes they hang down and they don't rotate, but it looks like some people go, I see a tornado. I had actually 2 people ask me that. I said, it's not. It's what we call a scud cloud. If you ever hear the term scud cloud, what it means is it's a low-hanging cloud, fibrous cloud, and it doesn't rotate, but it sometimes has features of a funnel cloud or a tornado. It looks that way, but it's not rotating. That's called a scud cloud. Just want to point it out. There's a lot of that scud, what we call it, across and ahead of this whole squall line. So you could see the areas of colors that differentiate from one another, and they're parallel coming into Columbus. There is about a 20 to 30 mile, I know if we were to go ahead and tag that to sea, but, you know, and Cody's doing other stuff, but he could see it here. You're talking quite a bit of wind here. You know, you're talking about coming into Columbus area, 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts easily, 40 to 47, just under 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts in a very populated area from Midland, Muskogee and Harris, South Harris County, southeast of Waverly Hall, Ellerslie, Columbus, going into Fort Benning, eventually down to Seal, Fort Mitchell, and Ossawatchie, not Osahatchee Harris, but Ossawatchie, Russell County, into areas of Cottonton. All this moving is going to be very strong winds. This could produce some damage, and as we've been hearing, more power outages too. So that QR code is necessary if you want to be kept ahead and not, you know, just have a safety plan. You could scan that right now or go to our WRBL radar app and continuous the coverage, keep the coverage going, and we'll keep you updated as we go along. Of course, when this continues to flow east, southeastward. So the good news upstream, we're looking at some improvements. If you're in Leave County, yes, you could see areas around Valley, LaGrange. We are looking at these areas all the way to Tuskegee, clear now. So if you're in Tuskegee, Auburn, Opelika, Beauregard, Valley, West Point, Chambers County, Lafayette, LaGrange, we are clear from any severe weather threat. The severe weather threat, albeit Hamilton is under the gun with very heavy rain and coming into Phoenix City and Columbus, that may not be severe, but the winds ahead of it in East Columbus do pose a risk of some damage, as we've been seeing 40-mile-an-hour gusts consistent. And again, as you can see on the screen there, you can scan that if your power goes out to keep updated with us, because Webster County, Weston and Preston, the cities included, Chatco, Casita, we're talking about Sly, Ellaville, Plains, Americus, Randolph County, Cuthbert, back in the areas around Georgetown. We're talking about Quitman, Clay counties, Fort Gaines, Bluffton. There's still that threat of seeing some very strong winds, and the tornado in Henry County could sustain in that environment as we start to go. What we say, the downstream action is very, very humid. It hasn't been tapped in several hours from any rain. There could be some environment to continue what could be a tornado into the Georgia side, which we're still seeing a rotation here. There are people that watch, but most of the viewing area, we're on this because we want this to continue to lift north and east. Now, listen, if it's moving north and east like this, and even though it's not in our viewing area right now, it goes right back immediately into areas around Clay County. That's critical. We've got a lot of population there, and it's still tightly wound. In fact, it's observed in the Richards Crossroad area. If anyone knows it, on US 431, many people travel this route. If you're headed down to Florida, the Klein Road, a lot of agriculture, and the Scottsboro Crossroads area as well. Debris, I'm not seeing, I don't know if we saw much debris on that. It's anything southeast of it, we're not really seeing a rocket back, but it's hard to detect. The scans aren't looking really impressive here. Potentially, there could be something just to the west of County Road 57, but keep that in mind. This would be the southernmost portion here, so that's what we're tracking at once it goes along Georgia 95, that's State Route 95. So that's the observed in the county of Southern Barber County. Now it'll be exiting out here and going into areas of our Georgia counties before you know it. That's County Road 75. We still got the severe thunderstorm warning as well into that Therese area, Baker Hill. Eufaula, you're not in it. It's south of you and even south of Georgetown, but it's angling up that way, but still a lot of heavy rain and wind. So the back edge of this across extreme east central Alabama counties are beginning to show some clearing. That's really great news.
With that, the tornado watch is canceled, Chambers and Tallapoosa.
Good. So that's what typically happens with this. Despite when they tell you when it's going to end, we wait till the event is over, then it becomes a canceled event. So from 5 points, West Point Valley, you're clear as far as anything severe, even though you got some thunderstorm activity and heavy rain still. Lafayette is clear. Good news, our friends in Chambers County, you guys had too much action in Troup County as well. You're still seeing a lot of showers and storms. Hasn't cleared per se that way, but the severe weather threat has done just that. Waverly Hall is probably pretty much out of the severe threat. Talbotton, you were out of that, but there's still significant winds. We call this strong thunderstorms. What's strong thunderstorms? 40, 45 mile per hour winds. So we still got to deal with that as it continues to go south and west of here. So that's still a deal. Okay, now up in Griffin, out of the news reviewing area, we were tracking this earlier. They have that observed tornado exiting out of the county, which is that butts in Henry County area, and going into Newton and Spalding eventually up through there. But you can see across in the county line, they actually have an observed tornado. That is out of our area now, and we were watching that earlier. Southern Barber County, still seeing a little bit potential debris, still observed tornado. The question is, even though we're under the severe thunderstorm warnings for Stewart, and we'll see that continue all the way down through Clay, Quitman, and Randolph counties eventually. It's not quite Randolph, but we're going to see Stewart County in that, right along US 82. That's the problem that we're going to have there. So we've got to continue to watch that to see what's going on. And Cody has an update to let us know what's happening with that.
Yeah, we're getting some reports of some damage around Blue Springs State Park. Don't have an exact location. I'm assuming somewhere near Blue Springs in southern Barber County. Structural damage, trees down, no injuries.
Okay, good news, and that's what we want to hear. But we didn't have good news for our friends. We haven't heard much from Selma, have we, lately?
I haven't seen much come in
because when
lately.
that came through, that was devastating, and I'll tell you, it didn't look good at all, and it hit some areas that were very, very potentially could be populated with folks, but we haven't heard much. I think it was Autauga County, Kaylee, that we had some bodily injuries.
Yeah, that's right. We did have a few bodily injuries. Actually, several reports, even into Elmore County, that we had reports of injuries. We have reports of people trapped. We haven't gotten updates on that. And we actually just got reports of people stuck in their homes for that storm and that confirmed tornado in Griffin. Houses damaged and people trapped with that confirmed tornado in Griffin right now. And we do have that confirmed tornado for Barber County and that that radar indicated tornado for Henry County as it continues to make its way towards the northeast.
Yes, and we want to watch Stewart County for that reason, and as it comes across the river eventually, and then we'll watch parts of Clay and Quitman too, is what I should say, and then Stewart North if it continues on that track with the severe thunderstorm warning, even as far south as that as well. We're still in that observed tornado mode outside of southern Barber County, south of Baker Hill. You can see right now it's extreme south of 431 now, southeast around County Road 157. If anybody now is watching Scottsboro Crossroads, now we're getting in there, there is a tornado, 50, 60, 70, 80 mile per hour winds right now with this damaging wind threat as it continues to lift north and east. And we're going to see over the course of the next 24 hours, I'm sure, even in these areas that are more agriculturally driven, that there'll be a lot of damage coming in before it crosses the state line and heads into our Georgia counties.
Okay, this just came over.
Yeah.
Can't confirm it, but potential entrapments within Troup County.
Say that one more time.
Potential entrapments in Troup County.
In Troup County. That's not good. So we'll keep you updated on that. I don't know what I did with, I'm trying to think what I did. Yeah, I have it up here. I'll check some of those reports for folks. There's a lot of Troup County folks on my phone. And in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hand this over to Phil Scoggins here. And Phil, I'm going to see if there's, it might be, just see if there's anything, if you see anything, just jump right in, Phil. Just tell us. We want to hear about that because there's a lot of folks on Troup. If they're saying, if there's anyone listening now, you're on our live stream version of this and not on News 3, could you please update us as long as you're inside? I don't want you going outside, not putting in harm's way. Just let us know if you know anything about that or how you are doing. We want to get you help or see if there's anything we could do to do just that. We still got circulation just to the east of County Road 57 in Barber County. Still a tornado here observed, and it's continuing to lift north and east as it's moving rather fast now west of 95, Georgia State Road 95. It's northeast of Scottsboro Crossroads. If you're in a Coates area, you need to seek shelter immediately. Despite the fact that it hasn't gone all the way through here right now. So we're going to keep tracking that as it lifts north and east. There's White Oak Drive. These areas here, all south and east, should be seeking shelter. If you're in the Drag Creek Road area, Drag Nasty and George, the Bagby State Park area, right across the state line, we need to seek shelter immediately as well. This is moving in this way. So this is south of County Line Road and going into Rick's Place, right along Georgia State Route 39. It's all east, and that's how far it goes right through this state park. So please seek shelter immediately as it goes in here. We're trying to get debris to see this, and we're not seeing too much at this juncture, but that's what you're looking at. There's Coates, there's east of that, and Rick's Place. This is some of the stuff that we're seeing here. But we'll go over to, we're staying with a tornado on the ground. I'm just telling my producer, we'll go over there in a second. We got to track this as it's going into Georgia right now. So we go north and east of this right now, and you can see in Rick's Place, there's Georgia State Route 39, and it is certainly still circulating here. So seek shelter immediately. This is where we're getting more populated now. So now we're hyper-focused on that. So let's be in the most central interior section, low-lying area in that area, which is really important here. So that's 95 moving towards the east, and it's lifting northeast into our Georgia counties as we speak. Therese is southeast of this in the Woodlawn Drive area before you get to the state line out of Barber County, and then you'll see this coming into here, Henry County, which will go right smack dab right into here. So we're waiting for that to come back up. It is now hugging, it's just coming across the state line, and Cody just west of that. Are we seeing, did we get any reports on that one too, is the south of that, of seeing any of that damage with that? Is anything that came
Well,
up
we
just
got
yet?
some damage when it was back across parts of Dale or in Coffee County, Southern Pike County, and then that one report of Blue Spring State Park. But other than that, as we've gotten over towards just around the Baker Hill community, we have not received reports as of yet.
Okay, so it's coming close to the state line. Seek shelter immediately. If you're, we'll pull back out just a little bit on that just to get everyone a sense of what's happening here. So if you are in the Clay and Quitman areas, right now, southernmost portion of Quitman County, southwest corner, and into areas around Clay County, Georgia, seek shelter immediately on that. Farther north in Georgia, we can go live right now. We're on News 3 at 5. We got the severe thunderstorm warning right now in the Fort Benning area, south of Crawford. This is not in Columbus, but in this area. But if we go to Columbus, the rain is torrential right now. It is torrential, and we can show you that live shot in a moment. Southeast of here, now that we got that severe thunderstorm warning, it's hail that's just less than 3/4 size in hail in diameter, right along 431 in Russell County. You could see the winds. We're looking for any areas of rotation, but at this point, there's no evidence of that at all. That's some good news. These are straight line. These are close to at least 30 to 40, 50 mile an hour winds potentially right through Russell County right now, and going towards Fort Benning over the river. That's a big deal, and that could knock a lot of trees down and certainly affect power issues too as well. We call those straight line winds. They do a lot of damage, and that's how they're structured. Farther south, though, again, we're watching our Georgia counties. Once that tornado warning continues through there, we're under a severe thunderstorm warning as well. And that has been the part of the system that has been more life-threatening to the south. But we do have that severe thunderstorm warning across areas of Russell County now, going into Chattahoochee County, which would eventually go into areas of our Fort Benning areas too. Do we have that live shot now? I know that we're seeing it. Go ahead. You could take it now if we want to take it, because we're waiting for this to go over the river now. So nobody's in the river, but let's go live right now. And this is downtown Columbus. This is probably the heaviest rain we've seen all day in Columbus. And there it is right there. It's almost blinding rain. You could see what we call the nest up there for the what we call the zip line, if you've ever done that, and the blue heron nest. And this is where folks go up here, and then they traverse over from the Georgia side, part of the whitewater rafting experience, and it goes into Alabama, and you cannot even see visually across. Looks like fog. We got some pretty heavy rain here. Torrential rain. I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time? Yeah, right outside the TV station now. Let's go to WRBL News 3 live, and you can see the wind. Again, the tree branches are certainly affected by this heavy rain coming down. The leading edge that brought in the threat of severe weather or the severe thunderstorm is south of this area. It's in actually areas outside of Russell County. They're the ones seeing the strongest winds as we speak. Cody, we're seeing now this coming into areas a little bit farther south, and it's almost getting close to that state line, and we'll be watching as it cuts across and goes into areas of Clay County.
Yeah, that's right, and we just had that extension into Clay and Quitman counties until 5:30. Until 5:30 as it continues to push in. Still radar indicated at the moment, very broad rotation, but that could spin up at any time.
And as we were saying too, so this earlier, I said it'd be about 5:30, and in fact that's where we're at. But we still got to get through Randolph County. We still want to see how it's behaving, that line, how much of that is keeping this east. So this track, as Cody's saying, that's why we have such high confidence of its direction. If you're on if you're on State Route 39 in Georgia, from Days Crossroad to Rick's Place, seek shelter immediately. A lot of new development here. Once you get past the Bagsby State Park, going through Garnersville and Hatcher and Morse, please get into that safe spot now. But backing up just a little bit, even though that's a tornado warning, that's radar indicated at that point. We got to see what it does when it gets over the open water here outside of the Lake Eufaula area. And north, the severe thunderstorm warning continues now in the Metro Columbus area. As
tornado possible too.
Now a tornado possible. And let's see where that is, because we didn't see anything with that. Let's see if there's anything rotating along that line. And it's going to be real hard. It probably got to go to Warner Robins. Do we have Warner Robins radar up? I think
too
we
far
should.
away.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good shot. We have to do Fort Rucker maybe. Let's see what Fort Rucker might give us. And maybe if we do that,
Maxwell's the closest.
Let's just go just to, Maxwell's. This is Maxwell right now, or is that?
This is Fort Rucker.
Fort Rucker, yeah, that's not going to give us anything. Robbins, that's awful, and it's coming towards here. Birmingham's not going to do it. Peachtree City, probably not going to be able to detect it. We're at such an odd spot here, right here. I think this is the best one, Maxwell. And I guess tornado possible at any time from Fort Benning. It looks like just past Lindsay Creek, south of 185. This is the main gate at Fort Benning. It looks like it's already past there. Yeah, it's just a lot of upper level winds right now. We're seeing a lot of flowing outward. So watching it, we'll keep that an eye on that, but I don't see any evidence. Even though tornado possible, that's going to tag that. We got to keep visiting this and keep looking at it. But just keep that in mind. If you're southeast, East Columbus, that's where I would think you're going to see any possibility. That would be East Muskogee County. So we can even draw a line on that whole leading edge of that level 2 data and take it, and we're going to stretch it out to south and east of there. Now it's getting into the environment, and I'm almost thinking, Cody and Kaylee, in Buena Vista to take us into Marion County. It's because of this prime atmosphere. We're talking about the downstream action. That mesoscale was issued by the Storm Prediction Center, and that makes it very favorable. The tornado possible as it's going into this very uncharted territory, knowing that it's super unstable, has got us really hyper alert on that. So going back to Casita, winds, potential very strong winds.
I think I know where they're watching.
Yeah, let's see what they're watching.
I think it's this right here.
Let me see where it is. What do they say here?
Where you're getting it.
Oh, okay. It's hard to see. Muckety muck west of 165. Probably, if you're in Russell County, if you're like Russell County, if we can zoom in even closer, maybe down in that rotation there. Let's see as you're rocking it back. That's Fort Gaines area going into Oswegatchie. That's right. So it's more north of Oswegatchie. A lot of construction, a lot of development here. And you got 24, you got got Russell County 24 going through there. That's south of Knuckles, and then that goes right in over the river into the 101st Airborne Division Road. That's the main division road, and you get into Lawson Field. That's that big blank in here on Fort Benning. So that you could come right over the river there. So that's where it is. It's crossing the river, and it's just west of 165. A lot of new homes here in the Fort Mitchell area. So if you're Fort Mitchell north, and if you're just east and right along 65, even our developments right through here, not far from the river, south of that, south of Fort Mitchell, south of the cemetery, right around that area, into that whole area, please seek shelter just to be safe. Just to be safe. It's bowing out. That's another indication. Right here, you can see the bow echo, and when it does it, it kind of protrudes out like that. It's not concave. It's, it starts to convex, and it's moving east, and it's southeast, and that's the edge that we start seeing sometimes some rotation on that. Anything that you observed, Phil, that seemed valuable for anybody? It's just the fact that you haven't heard anything or nothing yet. Okay, folks that are on there are not in that. Okay, so back down across the river, we're back into Clay County, out of Henry County, and even though the polygon's in there, we are in the Clay County area, and that's what we're looking at right now. So we. Or Quitman County, excuse me. Quitman County, Rick's Place, Bagby State Park, and just to the southwest, State Route 39. And it's looking more like it's flowing out, but it still wants to rotate a little bit. But it's not looking very impressive at this point. And that's some great news. Let's see, even from the last rock and scan, it's flowing out. It looks like it's becoming straight line. So hopefully that'll continue. Therefore, it's radar indicated. We don't have an observed tornado, so that's some good news for you guys here in Quitman County. And then we'll watch areas once it gets into
We did get a 48-mile-per-hour gust in Clay County.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. Go. I bet you if you go ahead and take that in velocity, that'll give us that 48, and that's outside of Rick's Place. So if you're in Days Crossword Roads, Gardnersville, look at that. Yeah, no doubt. Almost 70-mile-an-hour winds with that too on our indication on this latest one. So possibly after that gust, it's still forward momentum is giving you those real strong gusts up to severe thunderstorm strength, and that's why it's radar indicated tornado warning. So it's still moving out, straight line winds. So despite the tornadoes that we had earlier today confirmed, in addition to the winds, that does a lot of damage as well, as you could see on that. Baker Hill is clear, Therese is clear, US 431, you're clear in those areas, and when you get outside of Barber County, so that's some good news. So Barber County is clear. So we're clearing you in Barber County right now. So your Barber County is looking good right now, even east of Cly, although there's just some thunderstorms that are down there. The main crux right now is just coming out of Russell County, moving into Chattahoochee County and Muskogee County, that whole line, and it's really the leading edge of that. So it's, extreme eastern Muskogee would be the one that would have, if there's any potential damage, would be right here, just a sliver, that southeast part of Muskogee County, but really going into, on post, Fort Benning. You see that line. That's a very strong, distinct line. A little rotation on here at some points, right along Chatco and Muskogee line on post. And the winds are considerable. I mean, considerable winds, 50, miles per hour easily. 40 to 48 to 50 miles an hour to 30, 33 to the south of that, headed towards Chatco. So on post, these facilities could really take a hard hit here. So our Fort Benning residents and family, and somebody who's out there too, just you know what to do on post to take shelter. It's not good to be out in this whatsoever. So we'll take it to Casita as your main point, in Chatco, and that right now is 23 minutes after the hour as we speak. It's 11 minutes after the hour now, and it continues to move eastward, and that's the way it is. So we got Brantley at 36 minutes after the hour once it kicks all the way out from here. And as we're doing on any reports on power, any reports on power outages yet?
I can get
Yeah, go ahead. We're going to get that. Kayla, you can go ahead. If you want to go ahead and just we'll get us, well, he's going to go ahead and we'll just widen this back out here because we're looking at now a little bit of rotation right up through here and down a little bit farther south. That would be the only rotation that's up out of Muskogee County, eastern, southeast. Okay, so if we go and take a look, we could show you a few more power outages here as this line is coming through, and we're going to continue to track that potential tornado. Once we get confirmation of that tornado again, we'll go right back to it. Okay, so here's the power outages here. Let's go to Pine Mountain. We have right now 7 in there, but you could see 82 customers are affected. And bigger areas, you could see those other areas that are flagged. It looks like a polygon. Those have a lot more considerable amount of power outages. You could see areas that came up, especially north around the Atlanta area. If you have anybody trying to fly, you're talking 511 customers that are without power in there. Let's go farther south, though, from Atlanta. Let's get in our area here. Just go our northern counties here. Let's go back up to around LaGrange, for example. We'll click LaGrange. And that's shown as 17. So this is some good news. We're getting back up on power. This is fantastic to see that. Pine Mountain, if you have people, Manchester, Warm Springs, this is Meriwether County. I had it earlier. This is just, again, Georgia power. If we go to Alabama power, we're going to see a whole different situation. I can guarantee you that. If you go to the Harrelson area, click that up there. Harrelson, I'm sure that's going to be a little bit more up there as well. So back to the Chatco would be probably the area now. It's pretty much out of Muskogee, despite Muskogee is in that. I would go more Marion and Chatco now, and I'm talking northwest Marion County. Chattahoochee County, including Post, Fort Benning, and Casita, those areas there in Buena Vista and Marion County. So that's the area there that we're looking at. There's been some weak rotation along that line. Chambers County still has over 1,000 without power, and that's when the tornado came through. So we're not good for the residents, 1,000, but it's still a considerable amount of folks that are up there, and I know they're working on it. So the tornado, we look at this, it looks like it's somewhere right around here. It's south of the county line. And when I say that, we're looking at, I got to get my counties here. It looks like, I guess it's
Northern Clay, Southern Quitman.
Yeah, Southern Quitman, Northern Clay. It's right on the, it's like literally hugging the county line, and there's a little bit of an indentation. So once it goes eastward, and it continues to go east. So let's do a track from here to Cuthbert, because we've got a populated area. So our residents in Randolph County are not in it yet, but I can assure you you're going to be under a warning of some sort here shortly. So we take that on US 82. Let's put you in there all the way to Shellman. And let me just back up just a little bit here once we get into the other kind. So Randolph County, 525. It's 14 after about 10 minutes. A potential wind event and a potential tornado headed towards Cuthbert.
They're getting ready to issue a severe thunderstorm warning, but they will leave a tornado possible tag on that for Randolph County.
Gotcha, as we're just saying. So that makes sense. That's what you would do on that. So they'll continue that. Thanks for that update. Shellman would put it 36 minutes after this hour, and then eventually, hopefully, that gets out of the area. And once that does, we're still potentially looking to be driving severe weather coverage at least till 45 minutes after this hour, at least.
We also got a gust report at Fort Benning of 58.
Okay, so that's what we're seeing, that severe thunderstorm warning up there, and that's going to do some that could do some damage. If it gets into any of the areas outside of Lawson, all those facilities there, you got the animal shelter outside of jump towers there, and much more. Those facilities with 58-mile-an-hour wind gusts aren't looking good. That's a strong line, and there you go. Cody got it. Bam, right there. 47 to 34. These are straight line winds. We're not showing negative. We're not showing two areas of tags because the air is moving away from the radar site. So as that air flows out, these are the numbers we're looking at that are very consistent in what the reports are. So from 57, 47, 34-mile-per-hour winds all into the Casita area. If you're in Casita, you want to seek shelter. Just in Chattahoochee County, just seek shelter. You got trees around you. This is the kind of stuff that creates a lot of new hazards as it continues to drift south and east, right along Georgia State Route 26. So, and then we widen it out a little bit. Okay, this storm rotation, might be a little bit embedded in there. Just there's some upper level broad rotation on that, south of Lindsay Creek Parkway on Post and Fort Benning. That's a kind of northwest quadrant of Fort Benning right there, and the Chattahoochee County side right there on Post. Less, get hail, 3/4 of an inch hail. Get penny-sized, dime-sized hail. We've been getting some of that. Quarter-sized hail. That has been kind of what we've been seeing with a lot of this. No tag for tornado possible on this, which is pretty obvious.
We do on the Georgia side, though.
But on the Georgia side, we do, because as we said earlier, we're talking about the conditions on that mesoscale. It's very favorable for that. So we still are watching you in Buena Vista. We're going to watch all our friends over there in Sly County, Webster County, and Sumter counties. We're still not through with this. You guys are still in that real volatile sector until we feel confident to get this all out of here, because a lot can happen. So it's going to bring some hail in. There's your hail coming close, Cuthbert. So Cuthbert, you got hail coming your way. You can see a little bit of hail core right through here, a little pink. And I know if we do a hail analysis on that, we'll probably pick up some hail in that. I can see, yeah, there it is right there. It's following the storm, so this is like lagging back the hail reports, but it will move appropriately eastward. So the hail's not very large, as we just said. It's less, probably, maybe penny. It's still penny-sized, quarter-sized, whatever, or dime-sized. It could still do. It could still be a bit of a problem for some. But you could see that the most of that is moving out. A quick tour. Let's go over to east central Alabama, so we could clear everybody, so they could feel like good. Could I just take a breather? Yes, you can. LaGrange, you're clear. I mean, even from the rain. Pine Mountain, you're clear. Hamilton, you're clear. Smith Station, you're clear. Albany County, look at the damage reports coming in right now. There you go. All the way through Nottosauga. Macon County, you are clear. All those little things that are up here, this is the storm reports. Hail reports, tornado reports, down trees, heavy winds, and much more. And it's going to keep coming in, funneling in. Back off to the southwest of here, Union Springs, you're clear. Tuskegee, you're clear. Barber County, you're clear, despite you still got thunderstorm activity. And the tornado warning continues right across areas right now of that line. It's hugging the Clay and Quitman line, but it's probably now, I'm going to assume it's more towards Quitman County, northern Quitman County. And there's your tornado down here as well, in southern Barber County as well, with tremendous amount of tree damage as we were tracking that in our southern viewing area. So our northern viewers and southern viewers saw most of it today. But what we're watching right now is Marion County. We're going to be watching a little bit of Taylor County, all southeastward, until this passes all the way through, until we're clear with that. And there's still a lot of energy with it. When the tornado threat is over, if it's potentially over, we'll dip out for a second, and at any time we may have to come back. But we stay with tornado warnings until they're over, till we're sure that that condition is not favorable anymore, and we're seeing rotation a little bit right now, a little bit too, actually, in fact, just to the southeast. If you're around 266 right now, state route, rotation here, and rotation on the backside of the county, south of US 82. So if you're in the Cuthbert area, it looks like it's weakening on the scan, so we're seeing a little ebbing and flowing. Doesn't mean it's tornado, but there's definitely a lot of wind aloft. So if you're Cuthbert, I would certainly just take shelter right now. In Shellman, I would already be preparing to take shelter as we speak, and once that kicks out of our area right now. Pine Mountain, Georgia, I just heard too. We can go to, you said we can go to Pine Mountain, or what was that? Columbus, I'm sorry. Oh, okay, let's go to Columbus right now. And there you go. You can see the live shot here. Oh, where is this again? Oh, downtown, I'm sorry. Okay, downtown Columbus right now. And you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's a good sign, okay? So what you see looking off towards the west, this is west, clearly. I know that because of the clear skies and some sun out there. That's a good sign. It's East Alabama. You're getting a nice sigh of relief here. As we did say in the forecast, this would be out of your area first, and this part of Columbus right now looking good. We're looking kind of west-northwest right now from this vantage point. You can see the Synovus building on that far right of your screen, and it's looking north-northwest right now. That's the line. That's what I'm saying. We're clearing, so that's some great news. So Muskogee County, you're out of it as far as any threat of that. We do have rotation. It wants to rotate in some portions of this line, but it still looks linear, but there is a little bit of a kink just outside of Morris, and the winds are very strong. 54-mile-an-hour winds ahead of this, just flowing right out. If there's this is broad circulation. If you introduce the broad circulation now, you're talking about anything almost just under 70 miles an hour, upper 60s, with winds gusting with this. So Peterson Hill, Cuthbert, seek shelter right now. Any of these areas here, Springvale, you should already have done that in Peterson Hill, and including areas of Cuthbert. I would include entire Cuthbert the way this is moving. Even there's a southern portion of this that has some very strong damaging winds too showing up, and it continues to look that way in each scan. Again, the circulation may be broad. We're watching for tightening, but on this reflectivity, as the radar as the air is moving away from it, it's still showing some good winds that are outflowing, some straight line winds still with it, despite whether being a tornado or not. But as you can see, as Cody's showing, this is what we call very broad rotation. But at the same time, at the surface, it's doing this way above in the atmosphere, but at the surface is coming out straight line winds. And as we just showed you, possibly 57-mile-per-hour winds. The circulation aloft is cranking out almost 70-mile-per-hour winds. And it's headed toward Cuthbert. So if we go ahead and we track that, and I don't even know what we're saying on that. It could be somewhere around 50 or, let's see what that's on there, about 50. Kaylee's got, I saw Kaylee nodding her head. There you go.
We've got multiple reports out of Fort Benning multiple times of wind speeds over 50 knots from Fort Benning right now.
Okay, and as we just said, that you know, they're going to see, you know, and it's very hard, just so people know, to get on post. We got to go through PAO. We just can't get reports unless somebody just tells us there was some damage or shows us a picture or something. But we have to have permission, and it's a little longer because the National Weather Service local, like Peachtree, would be the one to go down and say they won't go on. They'll let the Fort Benning Mets from Lawson or something will usually check it. Sometimes they'll let them on, but generally we don't really get any reports right away. But I could tell you with that, there's got to be something damaged there on Fort Benning. So we just hope those guys are safe, and the women that are out on post right now. So Randolph County, you're going to still need to seek shelter immediately. The Benevolence area, I would get in your safe spot. It's starting to tighten up again. So that broad rotation, if we back it up, it's now showing some tightening. So that tornado warning should be just exclusively, or tornado possibles, we're flagging it. Will continue probably with the severe thunderstorm warning, but with tornado possible. But because of the fact that we still got that rotation and the threat of that as it continues to move eastward, going towards Shellman and Cuthbert. So you guys around this area, this is US 82. I mean, it's riding right along parallel to the north side of that, and Georgia State Route 216. So those areas here, it's still very broad rotation, 2 areas of some circulation, but it is pretty linear, and that's good news. It's coming across northern portions of Cuthbert, but if you're on that west side, guys, you still got that little appendage down here of some straight winds and straight line winds, so that certainly I would include all of Cuthbert in there just to kind of hunker down and get away from trees, safe zone. There's a lot of trees in downtown Cuthbert if you've ever been there. I've been there many times with storms, and you could see that. Okay, Talbot County, let's go up to Talbot County, and let's just see what people are saying. So Talbot County right now is clearing. It's south of that is where we're seeing the tornado possible threat with Chattahoochee and Marion counties now. And that's that other portion, the northern portion of that. So Talbot County, we haven't seen anything that I'm aware of.
Haven't seen much
Cody
come through pertaining to Talbot County. We did have a gust of 43 at the Columbus airport.
Okay, that was our strongest gust, and that's good for Columbus. But
and that was roughly about right at the top of the hour.
Okay, so if that's how Columbus fared, good news, because Columbus is out now, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. It's the populated areas that were to get what happened up in Chambers County or Barber County would be very destructive here, and that's what happened in Selma today, and we didn't have that. And again, our hearts go out to. I just can't believe we're not hearing much out of Selma. We were tracking it, Kaylee and I. That was devastating. It was devastating. That was something you would see in March, that kind of volatility. But it did weaken a bit when it got this far east. That's some good news. We're still in an environment, and I could just by radar, not even looking at velocity, it looks pretty uniform, but it looks very straight line as we go east of Casita on post. So let's take a look at that earlier as we're still monitoring tornado possible. As soon as we get something, boom, we're on it. But I want, Cody, just want to show you this real quick. There you go. You got 2 areas of some rotation, weak rotation along the line, and that's where we're getting those gusts. But generally, it's straight line at the surface. You know, 50, 35, 40, and then it tapers off to just under 20-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but still strong enough that that could do some stuff. We have some video that was sent in, and got some permission earlier. Dave will appreciate Robert Grantham facilitating this through this gentleman. This was in Dadeville, Alabama, I believe. Am I correct? I think so. I'm not hearing anything. Andrew McGreer, I know I saw this myself. This is a tornado earlier. He's pointing with his finger. Andrew McGreer shot this. And you got around, you know, we're looking at that north part of Lake Martin. You remember that, Kaylee? And that's what we're seeing. But that's the tornado. That is definitely the tornado. It's kind of what, there's 4 or 5 different classifications of tornadoes. That looks, if it's over water spout or land spout is considered one category of tornadoes. This could be more of what we call a rope tornado. It was described as very large, so it could have been a wedge tornado when it was in Autauga County. But once it got into west, or should I say southwest of Autauga, like Dallas counties and areas earlier, it was definitely a much larger tornado. So thank you, Andrew, for sending that in. Thank you, Robert, for facilitating that. As always, yeah, we got some Decatur, Georgia, you're talking about. Oh, Alabama, thank you. That makes more sense. Decatur, Alabama, here's some of the storm damage we have earlier, too. We got permission from this as well. I want to give a shout out to Tim Lovett, and this is storyful that he was able to show us the damage here. Look at the farm equipment. Not touched much, but there's a lot of debris around it. Look at this here. It looks like a small shed, some roof shingles that were torn off. Telephone poles look like they're leaning a little bit. You can see flashing in trees that were probably aloft. Now, you know what's interesting with this? Kaylee and Cody, take a look at this. If some of the trees are stripped, okay, I can see that, obviously. A lot of these trees, and that I bet you with all that debris there, that was flying debris. All that stuff was lifted in the air. That's what we saw on a tornado debris signature. So take a look at this closely. Some of the trees are lobbed off at the top. So obviously this was a tornado that came through, but it's the debris that was just thrown about. Look at that house, barely unscathed, a little bit of shingle damage, but look at the trees just laying there arbitrarily, flashing, wrapped around. Again, I'm not the National Weather Service survey, I'm not that engineer on the ground, but we know the winds were probably in the neighborhood. They were pretty strong here. So this is a very wide open area. So you had a lot of debris. Kaylee, how high was that earlier?
Bob, this debris was being lifted over 15,000 feet at its strongest. I'm sure you remember.
Can you repeat that again? They didn't have your mic on.
This debris was being lifted over 15,000 feet at its strongest. I'm sure you remember. That's why it was called for a particularly dangerous situation while it was moving through portions of Alabama towards Lake Martin. We even have reports of people struggling to get to their homes on the northern side of Lake Martin earlier this afternoon, Bob.
Yes, and we were tracking it. Cody was in working behind the scenes. Nicole Phillips was tracking it earlier up through midday, and we just stuck with it, and that was the end result. So flying debris is most dangerous in any tornado. I always want to point that out. That's the #1 destructor, and it's flying projectiles, basically, and you could see how it was just strewn about all that through that area. So Randolph County, we're still tracking that. We don't have a tornado confirmed here, and we continue to watch this. We wanted to kind of move out of this area here, and we're going to be watching it closely after that. So let's kind of break it out a little bit, a little wider. So with 1-inch diameter hail with that, and the one moving out of Chatco, it's really looking now, it's in northwest, really it's southeast Chattahoochee County, and extreme northwest Marion County is the area of concern. That's it. So again, let me repeat, northwest, we've got a hail core here forming, so some strengthening. We're talking about extreme northwest corner of Marion, southeast Chatco, and that's all we're looking at right now. Everybody else is clear to the west of that. We saw that live shot earlier from Columbus, and you saw the light at the end of the tunnel looking out west-northwest. Georgia State Route 355 is just heavy rain, but if you're in Georgia State Route 352, if you're in Buena Vista, I would say now, Buena Vista residents, be ready for some strong wind gusts with this coming through. There's no tornado right now evident for us and seeing it, but still possible at any time as it heads south and east towards Buena Vista, Georgia.
Yeah, we have no active tornado warnings at all.
First time in how many hours here? That's a good news. So what we're
in our area.
In our area, we're going to still continue coverage here. We're going to still continue because we want to make sure as this goes in, there's still, you know what's going to happen. As soon as we get off, we still got Webster County, we still got the rest of Marion, Sly, and Sumter counties. And parts of Randolph County is already exiting out. So I would say the hyper focus now, this is going to remain like Dawson. I think Sumter, you're going to be fine with the southern portion of the storm, definitely. There's some serious hail down there now coming out there. You can see the whole genesis of the storm, how it came through. Anybody on Interstate 85 I mean, really, the only thing, if we can draw the opposite, I mean, anything that is actually where the heaviest rain, where you see all the lightning, everything west of that lightning, you guys are good. Good as gold. So we'll stop it here on this last rotation here. Boom. And everything here, all the way to the west, clear. All that's clear. Everything with this line here, west is clear, looking really good. And that would be a good right there. Not too bad there, Cody. I couldn't do that with that program. So we love to see that. But everything southeast. So who are we concerned about? If we're in Taylor County, Sly County, and Webster County, and Sumter counties, that's what we got to watch out. We only got a few more counties to look at.
Speaking of good, tornado watch canceled. Barber, Bullock, Lee, Macon, Pike, Russell. On the Georgia side, it is canceled for
Troup.
Troup, Meriwether, and
Harris, maybe?
Harris County.
Yeah, it would have to be, yeah. Good. So that's why we're saying it now. So we're here to inform now, ease mind so you know what's going on. So Sumter, Sly, Marion, parts of course, Taylor County, you're still under the gun. We just got to watch this. These counties right here. And let's do a track on that. I think, what did I hit? I think it might be still the same squall line track I had earlier. I think it might have been...
it had 48 on it.
48, I think I went 48 on it. Let's go 48 and take it south of Richland, and we'll take it down. We're going to tell you when this thing should come to a bloody end here so we can be done with this. So it looks like Americus at 6:05. So let's roughly what we're seeing, and we won't go to Cordelia, that's way out of the way, but that's good to see so you get a perspective. Let's see it again. So if you're in like Fort Valley, we'll use that just for example. Fort Valley in Americus about 6:05. So I'm going to say closer to the next less than a half hour, we're going to know what's going on, and we'll be clear for the whole news reviewing area, despite there'll still be thunderstorms around, but before we can safely say everything's going on. It's really bowing out here out of Randolph County now, but that should stay south of the county line of Sumter County, so we'll be watching that, but that should stay south of that. Webster and Preston, I think you're pretty good. Actually, right now, I almost want to give you guys an A-OK. Let's just see where that is. Hang on a second. Yeah, that's the first. That was the first round. We still got to get through there. You're not out complete, but I would say Stewart County, you're looking good. If you're in Lumpkin, Georgia, you're looking good. Okay, Richland, you still got storms, but I think you're pretty much looking good. We're going to southeast of Preston and Webster. We'll watch that. Stewart County, you look good. You got a little, but that's you still got some wind gusts back here in Stewart County, southwest of Lumpkin. That broad rotation still continues northeast of Cuthbert and around the Benevolence area. That's the same area we thought was a tornado possible. It's just a lot of rotating winds aloft, and it's a lot of wind that could potentially come down off of that. And that is all north and riding east of US 82, as Cody's highlighting. This is called broad rotation. We call it a mesoscale. Every severe thunderstorm rotates, and every severe thunderstorm is capable, if it's violent enough aloft, they're seeing that too. Let's take a look at one other thing here. And so as we're still monitoring this, Kaylee and Cody are watching. We see a little bit, yeah, you're seeing a little bit better rotation. It may tighten up here a little bit, but we're going to keep watching this. It needs to be watched. Let's show you what we were talking about earlier. We saw some of that damage, and that's the real conundrum here, is everybody going out trying to see where the damage is, even in Lee County. But again, Tim Lovett from Storyful captured this earlier, these images, once we were around the areas here. There was injuries, damage reported from Forum, Morgan County, and this is Decatur, Alabama, and that's this debris that was strewn about. This debris was lifted, lofted in the air. Kaylee told us earlier, we were on the air with this when we were talking about injuries. This same system, as you see here, was the same one that approached our northwest Chambers County area when Cody was here.
Yeah, that's right. We actually had the system weaken and then yet another spin up, which is what brought our tornado into our Chambers County. So we had multiple injuries with this storm system, and we had actually people trapped with the first tornado touchdown. So we've had 2 confirmed tornado warnings with this same system. So 2 separate tornado touchdowns with this system, and we had people could not get to their homes after work on Lake Martin, trees down on the road, multiple power outages. I think Cody said upwards of 2,000 in some counties, upwards of 4,000 in others. I don't know if you have that in front of you, Cody.
I don't have them. Not at the moment.
Okay, but as like Lake Martin, northern side of Lake Martin, I'm sure that's where that video came from earlier. You could actually see the tornado in that video earlier from Lake Martin. Multiple trees down, multiple homes damaged, Bob.
Yes, and this is what this kind of volatility does. I mean, we're in severe weather season. Our severe weather season really now starts in December, and this will continue right through the first week or two of May. So just get used to this. This is just the way it's going to be. We're in a La Nina pattern. This weather phenomenon typically has it where we have this kind of volatility. We have a real strong collision course of cold, dry air, and mixing with that traditional high and dry, we get these quick warming events like we had today ahead of it. And then just note, during this time of year, when you start seeing 70s, upper 60s and 70s, this time of year, it's going to be followed by a bang, and it always is. It's going to be replaced with strong storms as we get a front that comes through. And it's a little bit more frequent than we like, but we feel this is going to be a lot of that. And I was talking to meteorologist Nicole Phillips about it earlier. So we continue to watch this exit. If you're in Cuthbert, you're clear right now, but if it's riding right north of that, it's what we got to watch out for. And again, still hail. Richland, Georgia, you're starting to get out. So Stewart County, pretty much, you guys are good. Marion County, we'll say you're looking better, but we still got to keep an eye over here in other areas around Webster. And I think, let's see what it is. We widen it out a little bit here. There's Buena Vista to the north. Those counties we still keep an eye on. So Sly County's in this. Marion County, it's more north Marion County right now. And you got some stuff coming out of Chatco too, so we'll watch it. But that doesn't have the same characteristics as what's going on north. So a lot of this is kinking. What happens is this squall line starts to bend, it kinks, some of it flows out, and that's some good news sometimes because it weakens some parts of the line.
That's right, and we're just dealing with severe thunderstorm warnings as this continues to. Seems like we're not tapping that energy, which is really good. So we'll keep the severe thunderstorm warnings at least through 6 o'clock on our southern storm here. That the rotation has broadened out as it's moving out of Randolph County into northern Terrell, around the community of Dawson, Parrott. Those areas will see some heavy wind and rain. Tornadic circulation just not there at the moment.
Yeah, that's great news.
Even though it is rotating, it's not your typical tornadic circulation, and this should likely miss, or maybe it may come into parts of Sumter County over the next half hour. So we'll continue to watch that as we go throughout, as this storm kind of just nudges back up into parts of southern Webster, Sumter County, but still the tornadic potential there seems to have fallen apart, which is some great news.
Yeah, and despite that, the notion of seeing that, it's funny. See, atmosphere, it has a mind of its own. We could try to outthink science and sometimes think what could it do, and that's why you have to be on it intently and just follow it at street level, continue to watch it, and you can see it manifest in front of you. And that's what we just call right now conditions or now casting. Yeah, you wouldn't even use a model and say, well, this is what it's going to do. This is what's happening. That's what it's doing. So, and we'll take it from the real time and be able to pull it out and show us coming up, like we said, close to the next 20 minutes or so, have a better handle on this. So now Taylor County is still, now they extended that severe thunderstorm. A warning includes Buena Vista, although I don't think it really is going to be north here, despite that Buena Vista you're in that. You're too far south on that polygon, but still, you can just tell by the reflectivity. If you're still in Marion County, take it seriously, but Buena Vista, it's not as bad as it is farther north. I think the area, and even if we go velocity, you're going to see somewhere right around to the northeast part of Marion County is where we're seeing that energy, and it's going to be going into Taylor County. In fact, Buffalo Simon, our sky watcher, he might be, let me just see if he has said anything, what he's reporting, but it's coming up in his neck of the woods. Anyway, let's see. We got folks from Columbus to West Point affected by the tornado. No, West Point's clear, and we're gonna walk everybody through that again. I think we still got a lot of folks that we'll probably just do a little tour, say who's good and who's not, that kind of thing. So if you're in Butler, that Rupert area, northeast Marion, Buena Vista, you're not going to be in that, and we'll be watching areas of Sly County. And into the south, we still got a little time. We're still watching the southern portion of this for Sumter County and Webster counties. That'll be it. So you guys, Taylor, Marion, and Sly, that's what we're looking at. And right now, it appears to be okay, but we're still watching it, and it's still very straight, very linear, and straight line winds are probably they're probably the bottom line. That's what's going to happen. So Talbotton, Waverly Hall, and Columbus, these areas all westward are clear in this particular view that you're seeing right now, as you can see at this point. So if we were to go back and show you the wide shot of this, and you'll see what we're talking about. The southern portion of this is splitting off, and it's like it has a little mind of its own. Randolph County now, you can see outside of Cuthbert. I think Cuthbert, you are definitely clear, but you could see where that hail core is coming in almost Dawson, Georgia, and south of Parrott. That's what's looking pretty nasty. But Plains, you're not so much into that. So at this point, Richland, like I said before, Webster County, Preston, Weston, you're not seeing the strongest part of it. The strongest part where it's bowing out, bow echoing, would include Sumter, Georgia, Leslie, Lamar, these areas. But Plains and Americus, it's south through. So we'll watch you guys, but I think Plains and Americus, you guys are going to do fine. So our Sumter County residents, I know you guys, this is always a sore subject here, especially back in 06. You remember March 1st of 06, that was a devastating tornado. Anytime you see that, but anyway, it's all south of you. It's south of that whole corridor there. So it'd be more Sumter in southern Sumter County. Oliver's Mill is out of here, and then once it gets to Leslie and Lamar, it's out. But it's really that bow echo portion of it. So Preston and Weston, Webster County, I think you're good. Stewart County, you're good. Still lightning out there. Don't go out and play in the lightning, but as far as the severe threat is out. So the real severe threat in the southern part of this, again, will be our southern Sumter County residents. And as we could see by this track here, let me just take it to 55. It's almost going to be about six even. It's about 17 minutes out. Southern Sumter County, south of Americus, you'll be clear. Then after that, the worst part of that. A little bit farther north, though, we go. That's the one we're talking about, Marion County, which is already exiting out of there. Taylor County is the one that we're going to be watching. So for the most part, we're getting real close to seeing this stuff so we can. Okay, East Columbus from this, let's go back up to there and show you that same system that came through. This system through Chatco, it's already out of Casita. It's really coming towards Buena Vista, and it's really in the Taylor County. Yeah, let's go to that map real quick, the power map, and show you what's going on in East Columbus. So East Columbus residents, even though the worst threat is out, we have, when we see that, let's see, what is the threat? If you click that, it looks like 152 customers are without power. Who is it? It's outside of the Columbus Airport. We're talking about just southeast of the Flat Rock Park area. This is right along 27, all 27, and that's down in that area. So it's, you know, you're coming past Columbus State University, past the Peachtree Mall. That area around Sun Chevrolet University looks like you got about 152 folks without power right now. And there's a couple restaurants. You got Applebee's, you got Burger King there. I think you know what I'm talking about. You got Cookout, that whole area there. So there might be some power outages there if you have family, friends, or anybody, as you could see, definitely. This coverage will continue, probably likely, as I just said, till 6 o'clock. We're going to pick up on News 3 at 6, so stay with us. We got the news of the day, too, a wrap-up of the devastating storms and the folks that were injured from this today. We got great news that we don't think there was any report of fatalities, I don't think, today. Surprisingly, people
haven't seen any.
That is some great. I'm just so happy to hear that. There was no. Just so thankful, because that could have been a bad situation for our Central Alabama folks. So again, Columbus Airport area. What are we talking about? Right along 27, right around the area, the park and ride. That area there, about 152 folks that are without power there. That's some good news too. So even though we had the power outages, we're saying it hadn't been as tremendous as we thought originally. So 15 minutes to the hour of 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central. Central time zone, folks. Everybody watching in East Alabama, you are clear. Good. All done. That's it. And that includes Barber County, despite the fact we still got thunderstorms there. We had tornadoes that were confirmed. Wind damages, Lee County in that with tree damage. Chambers County, as we told you, the damage and tornado damage we had. And again, you can see the extent of that. It kind of split when it came through here. And we're still looking at just a few more counties here before we wrap things up, including Taylor County, and of course, Clay Quitman and Marion. Those are already exiting out. So I'm going to call what it is. Even though these things are slated to give you a time, we're going to be able to tell you that hail core still remains south of Sumter County. It may clip Sumter County a little bit. That portion of the storm there has some rotation. But again, well south of Plains, south of Americus. I don't know, is it really going, or is it going more due east with that squalling to the north? Let's see that. Let me see. It looks like it might be headed more of an east-northeast. Let's just see what that track is a little bit on that as we rock it back and forth. So hopefully that's just eastward. Yeah, it looks like it could have just a slight northeast tilt. So we're you know, maybe going in what we have. Yeah, probably a little bit. You know, we'll take that as the worst case scenario. But I think America's plains are going to be fine. And you can see Leslie. We'll just go to Leslie, just coming up at the top of the hour, pretty much about 8 minutes after. So all of our East Alabama viewers are clear. Let's show a wide view, and I could clear and just use your line. We'll use the line that's everything on the west side of that squall line. There's two lines we're looking at. The Bow Echo to the south that broke away from the main squall line. So if you're in Meriwether, Harris, Talbot, Muskogee, Russell, Barber, every other county in East Alabama, Bullock, Macon, Lee, Chambers, you're all good. Troup, Meriwether, all good. And as far as Stewart County, you're good. And we're looking at areas of Clay and Quitman County. I'm going to still say, despite that, you're still good. And we're seeing the bulk of this coming out. Southern Sumter, Sly County, and we'll even say portions of Marion County, Buena Vista included, and just southeast Taylor. We're still watching, is what we're saying. But everybody else is good after that. Again, coming up at 6-5 Central in just less than 10, about 12, 13 minutes away, we'll continue our News 3 coverage. But the area that we just highlighted, Cody did, that's still the area to watch. I only see two places here, southwest of Butler, just coming out of the Marion County line and the Taylor County line. A little hail here, and we got some hail just east of Shellman, and just going into the southernmost county, Sumter County. And there you have it. So very straight outflowing winds, and looking good as it comes out from the radar. And the second portion of this, which bowed out, created that another strong portion of that system. And again, very broad rotation, as you see right here, right along Georgia State Route 45. That's what we're watching right here. That's the rotation right here on that part of that little bit of outflow. And that energy, the straight line winds, has produced a little bit, sometimes what we call looks like a little wake low that can, you know, do some damage too, some wind damage. But that's out of here. So Preston, Weston, you're good. I still say Americus and Plains, you're fine. Polygon is lifting north and east, as Cody had. We'll put Leslie in that as we did, and that brings it just over the 6 o'clock Eastern time hour, and we should be pretty good. Anytime at the bottom of your screen, the right-hand part of your screen, you could catch that QR code. Power goes out. You want to see a stream when there's life-threatening weather or any kind of weather event, you could go ahead and do that on your mobile device, and that will, right here, it'll take you there what you need, and we're live stream on that as well. You get push notifications, allow that when you download that app. So 3/4 inch hail, it's going to tuck out underneath here, and again, if we give the wide view real quick again, Cody, I'm going to see the storm report damage real fast and just kind of give folks what happened here today that are just joining in for the 6 o'clock hour. Let's go up to Chambers first. That tornado started over in Dallas County. We started tracking it here 2 hours before it hit. We were tracking it for this area exactly. Home was destroyed on County Road 284 in Northeast Chambers County. When we see TDS, the acronym stands for Tornado Debris Signature that we had. Also large pine trees, hardwood trees, that's big, right along County Road 267, along that same route of that tornado, trees on power lines, and not to mention the hail that came down, even around West Point and Valley. We had hail that was down there as well. Hail that was pea-size, so we did very well there. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. We thought with a lot of that cold air aloft would have brought in some very strong updrafts and downdrafts. Public reported dime-sized hail, and we saw that. Roanoke, quarter-sized hail in a Clackville community, and that's the second time, it wasn't a week, that Clackville has been getting that same track. It's crazy. Wind reports all over, from Fort Benning here in Randolph County. We just got one there too. It looks like we got a tree down there that just happened. It came through just minutes ago. Blue Springs, multiple trees down and structural damage at Blue Springs State Park. Also a tornado debris signature that indicated a tornado. Power poles broken. Several tree limbs also down in our Randolph County. This was just minutes ago. We were just on the air. We gave you an alert first to tell you about that, what was going on. Our tornado down in southern Barber County, and tree damage there too, came out of there. We can get back into southern outside of Clay County. We'll try that. Tornado down there. Looks like multiple trees were still down with that. And again, observed tornado. And not to mention we also had debris as the First Alert Weather Team were tracking that in trees too. Chambers and Tallapoosa County. Let's go back up there, Cody, for a second. I'm going to mention something here. Governor Ivey has just issued state of emergency. And you saw that video we had earlier. And we can probably bring that up again. That was Dale County, and there was other places, but we're going to get more out of that. And you could see the track of that tornado that Cody has on here. And Kaylee, almost a 100-mile track. The Beauregard tornado that year was 73, March 3rd of 2019, 91 miles. Look at that. And it continued. And even on this, it broke off and brought another tornado warning south of that. And it continued not once, but twice with 2 tornado warnings south of that from that same system, how strong that was. So that continued across that track. So state of emergency for portions of Chambers and our residents in Tallapoosa counties, including Alexander City in that, issued by Governor Ivey in Alabama. And down near Auburn, we had wind reports. We had some tree damage down here. We didn't even say that too, south and west. What do we have over here at Auburn? The weather station at Auburn, that was at 67-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Cody observed on that video they were showing at Jordan Hare Stadium some of the debris that was taken down there. Wind reports to emergency management reported down trees and power lines, resulting in more power outages in Opelika earlier as well. So that has been clear as far as we know now. Power is observed and everything is good now. But again, very strong day, hit at a time. But folks, just to understand, this is just early January here, and this kind of action is going on. This is the kind of situation we're looking at. Farther west, we'll start where we did when we were doing our coverage. We knew when we were watching Selma, the Selma area was just devastated. There was catastrophic tags on this, and numerous reports of tornado in Selma. It was pretty big with tree and structural damage. One in particular was, I think it was a country club, and I can't remember the facility in Selma. It's a horse. It's a big stables. They have a lot of stuff that's through there too as well. Heard that was destroyed as well. But I'm sure you're going to see more images coming out there. Autauga County too. Billingsley, the city there, we were on the air for that, talking about that as we knew it was going to continue to track. Damage to a church. Marbury Volunteer Fire Department reported that report along Kelly Road, if you know this area, in the Titus community. A lot of damage up through there as well. The Rockford area in Coosa County, that was the same track as it continued through Tallapoosa County, which is under a state of emergency. Multiple structures damaged along US 280 near the Lake Martin Bridge, these areas as well, to the north of that and all the way to the south of that as well. And as you can see, as it came into the News 3 viewing area, 2 places, Barber County and Chambers County. And again, that track was pretty close, but no tornado goes in a perfectly straight line, so we stay with it until the event is over. So we continue to watch this. Tornado still possible. More right now. I'll tell you right now, if you're in Taylor, in Sly County, it hasn't even entered yet. Taylor County, it's just extreme southeast. Rupert, you're already clear of any threat because it's already just east of Rupert, okay? So in my mind here, Taylor County's out of it. Sly, you're not out of it yet. And Sumter County, we still gotta just look at that. Taylor County, it's pretty much out of Taylor County too. So if you're in Taylor, you're good. Only one really we got to watch now is Sly County and southern Sumter County and southeast Sumter County. That's it. So if you're in Sly, in the News 3 viewing area right now, in Sumter, those are the 2 that I would be hyper-focused on. Our Taylor County is already clearing before, this is not catching up with it. So Sly, Ellaville would be the city to watch out for. We've got a lot of our residents there, a lot of my friends. I know a lot of folks in Ellaville and Americas and Plains always want to know what's going on. It's south here, and you can see the rotation. It's still looking a little impressive here, though, Cody. It still wants that broad rotation. You know what's going to happen? I just want to watch this, see if it doesn't just tighten up last minute around Leslie. So it's still got a little real estate to go over an open area. So there is some rotation here, and it's hugging the county line. And it is now, pardon me, going right into the Sumter southwest corner of Sumter County and coming out at Lee and Terrell counties. And you can see that as going into southern Sumter. So still, that little sliver, southeast Sumter, we'll watch that. But as far as everyone being cleared, Sly County, it could still be wind gusts up to 40. And of course, Sumter County, south Sumter County, we still got to keep an eye on that as well, too. It is 5 minutes to the hour right now. At the top of the hour, if you're on Central Time or Eastern Time, we will be starting News 3 at 6. And we're going to continue coverage with the latest news and, of course, updates on weather and what's going on here. So thanks for staying with us, even online, too. I think we shall continue to, I have my news director in here. I think it would be safe to say we will not be live streaming at 6, right? Correct? We're going to end that live stream. So if you're live streaming come join us. Your power's on, come join us on News 3, okay? Because there's a lot of streamers out there today. So if you're streaming, we want you to come back to us on News 3 here. And if you can do that, we appreciate it, and that'll be your best way to get it. We'll update you then. But our live stream will end at 6 o'clock. And so anyone live streaming, because the threat's pretty much over for you. Americus, you're definitely clear now. We've got hail, though, in southwest areas of Sumter County right now. This is south of 49, or east of 49, my bad, Georgia 49. And that's the rotation. Cody's circulating. That's actually the upper level rotation. So that the thunderstorm's kind of going up in the air. Let's do a 3D volumetric on that real quick. Just literally slice it from those two areas of hail. That's exactly where the highest points are. We'll see the hail core of this thunderstorm as it moves towards Leslie. So again, you're looking at, this is the 20,000 foot level. So that's a good sign. It's somewhere about 20 to 25. Hail core is there, and it looks like looks like it's almost in a collapsing stage. But the good news is this is not getting any higher that it would make me concerned. We keep pulling it back here. There you go, Cody. Now it's pushing about 30, just under, still under 30,000 feet. So there's your hail core there, Cody. If you pull it back, you can see those hail core. They're suspended in there. So you got your hail. Yeah, you got a little updraft, but again, these are not that type of supercells that we see next month or in March. So that's some good news, but certainly a lot of energy. There's your hail right there in the center of that thunderstorm. It is south of Americus and Plains, and again, we don't expect it. It may elevate just a little bit more, but at this point, we should be pretty good. So once it kind of clears out there, less than 2 minutes out. For our live stream folks on there to kind of join us on News 3 live. The live stream will come to an end to rest everything up, rest our computers a little bit, and the thread is over, so we cut out at that point. So there'll be a couple-hour delay. If you want to watch News 3, you can check out of course, the stream, but it'll be 2 hours later. You can catch us. We'll catch you if you want to get a rebroadcast of any of our news today as well, if you can't catch us anytime soon. So the threat really out of Chattahoochee County, that polygon's still in there. Marion County's clear. Taylor County is clear. It's now moving towards Macon, Georgia. The only county now, I would even say Sly, you're going to get some thunderstorm activity. Sly, you may see some gusts up to 20 to 30. That would be it. So Ellaville, you're going to be clear here shortly, but everywhere else is clear. And again, Sumter County, southern Sumter, southeast Sumter is the only place we'll be watching here, and we'll be watching that. So we're less than 1 minute out, and we're going to keep you updated. So again, everybody in East Alabama, 2 thumbs up. You're looking really good at this point. And so everybody's doing fantastic. Now, if you look at the radar and you see this is the physical squall line. The front, Cody, is coming through shortly. I think you could probably, I wonder if you can kind of go back, you guys, and Kaylee, just maybe even a water vapor, you'd see exactly where the front lies. But that front should be right on the heels of that. And it's coming across, that's still lagging back a bit. But that's what happens. This energy is that far ahead of the physical front. It's just amazing. That's how much force is in the atmosphere. And you could see the line of showers and storms and all the severe weather with the tornado watch. As a tornado watch is issued farther east, it continues to do just that. So everybody, thanks for joining us here on live stream. We want you to tune over here if you can to News 3 for the latest weather updates and news, and sports, and much more. You're going to be watching News 3 on your side. Thanks.
And good evening, everyone. Bob, thank you so much. We are here, of course, at WRBL News 3 Studios. I'm Phil Scoggins, my co-anchor.